listening to Miami Hockey on RedHawk Radio. Good evening and welcome to Gavin Ice Center in Oxford, Ohio. I am Will Salzarulo. I'll be your host for this pre-show report. Tonight's matchup, number 4 Western Michigan Broncos are on the road against the Miami RedHawks. Last night, Miami had a massive overtime upset, a 3-2 win for the RedHawks, and that was thanks to David Deputy getting the equalizer in the third period and getting the overtime winner as well. Miami's coming into this matchup with a 7-8-2 overall record, conference record of 8-7-2. While Western Michigan's coming into this one with 9-8-0 and conference of 11-6-0. For NCHC action last night, North Dakota's at Minnesota Duluth. An upset win for Minnesota Duluth, 3-2 overtime win for Minnesota. That score sounds a little familiar. Denver's at Colorado College. It was a 2-2 tie. Quite a rare thing you see in hockey nowadays. St. Cloud State is at Arizona State. 4-1 win in favor of St. Cloud. For the starting lineups for tonight, for Miami, for the forwards in left wing, number 13, Coach Adelic. In center, number 17, Maximilian Helgeson. Right wing, you know him, you love him, number 20, David Deputy. The defensive pair for tonight, number 9, Kyle Coyne, and number 73, Michael Phelan. And in goal, as always, number 45, Mateo Drobak. Now for Western Michigan starting lineups. Left wing, number 17, Tyne Henrichs, a New York Rangers draftee, a sophomore, shoots left for Western Michigan. Center, number 34, their captain, Owen Michaels. And right wing, number 18, William Whitelaw, a draft pick from the local Ohio NHL team, the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now for the defense for Western Michigan, starting number 33, Sam Scholand, alternate captain for the Broncos. And in right defense, number 37, Zach Bookman. And in net tonight, number 30, Hampton Slukunski, a Los Angeles Kings draftee. Only a sophomore here, the NCHC goalie of the month. Some storylines for tonight. Miami's upset last night did what they thought was possible. Growing up in Oxford, this energy I saw at Goggin is the best I've seen. I've lived here basically my entire life. I think that was the best game Miami hockey has ever played, and I think might ever play of all time. We'll see how tonight goes. Maybe they can one-up that one. But yeah, Miami has remained beaten this season in overtime. Miami is 5-0-2 when it comes to overtime. Now those two were against a series here on home ice. So we split the series going into a shootout. And that's how it goes. So this is a fifth straight conference game wins in a row. This is the first time Miami RedHawks has won 5 straight conference games since 2009-2010 season. Quite an accomplishment there for these RedHawks. Some key plays for the RedHawks tonight. They gotta shoot. Miami was terrible last night when it came to shots on goal. Western Michigan lapped the RedHawks, getting more than double shots on goal from them, with Western Michigan with 33 compared to Miami's 16. Also, Miami has not been the best when it comes to power play. We're sitting at a .14 percentage, and I just gotta say, they have 0 power play goals in 5 of the last 7 games, I believe, there. So those are some keys for tonight. Some players to watch. David the Lawman Deputy, on fire last night, got the OT winner and the third period equalizer. He's leading the RedHawks in goals and is the NCHC Rookie of the Week. And also for Miami, Mateo Drobak, also on fire last night, NCHC Goaltender of the Week, 3rd star of the game. Look out for these two on the ice. Some other games in the NCHC tonight. St. Cloud's at Arizona State. Number 3, North Dakota's at number 10, Minnesota Duluth. And Colorado College is at Denver in the NCAA standings. Well, that's about all the time we have for tonight for this pre-show party. I have been Will Salzarullo, and more Miami action coming up next. Play-by-play by Jeff Middleton. Color commentary by Gavin Start. Stay tuned. You're listening to Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio.
Steve, Coach Cady Arena here at Goggin Ice Center in Oxford, Ohio. Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio. Miami RedHawks in the second game of this two-game series against the number 4 Western Michigan University Broncos. My name's Jeff Middleton, alongside Gavin Stark as we get set here for this second and final game here on a wintry Oxford evening. And last night, Miami came away with a huge win against the number 4 team in the country. Gavin, an overtime winner from David Deputy on a 2-on-1 with Coach Adelic. Deputy also had the tying goal last month, the NCHC Rookie of the Month against the the Goaltender of the Month, Hampton Slikinski. A fantastic goaltender matchup, Mateo Droback making plenty of saves, but obviously last night, Deputy, the star of the game, just crediting his teammates in the post-game press conference, as all of these Miami players usually do. A fantastic game between these two teams, and tonight Miami looking for the sweep, but Western Michigan controlled a lot of the game, and especially in that first and second period, really dominated puck possession. What can Miami do tonight to kind of keep that from happening and come away with a victory again tonight?
Well, yeah, and it starts really with the possession of the puck. Last night they got dominated really all night long here inside of their own arena, it felt like, but they were able to hang on, and late down the stretch, they finally started to get some momentum, and that was what they needed. The victory ultimately came from those final 5 minutes or so in the third period, where they dominated puck possession and looked like the better team, but they stayed physical all night, and I think that was an important part of why they were in that game at the late part of the stretch. And then we got to overtime. It was a breakaway goal by David Deputy, who sat out for 10 minutes of that game last night due to throwing his gear, and Noreen said in the press conference, you know, he owed it to us. He owed it to us after that whole shababble in the second period. So if this team can, you know, possess the puck a little bit more, even get some more shots and take advantage of some more opportunities, I think that they can find themselves with a series sweep this weekend, really. And last night, big victory, so you get all the momentum here tonight.
Yeah, and a great point made. Last night, David Deputy sat out. 10-minute misconduct for the freshman Rookie of the Month last month in January, scoring 5 goals. Team leader in goals with 13 after his 2-goal performance last night. And, you know, like Noreen said, obviously owed it to them, but also Deputy said that's not him in the post-game press conference, said that that's not characteristic of the kind of player he wants to be. And tonight he'll be sure to be a little bit more disciplined despite making up for it on the score sheet. Last night also, Gavin, a couple of injuries to Miami. Lost Ethan Hay and Vladislav Lukashevich. We saw Ethan Hay last night come out of the locker room with a boot on his right leg, but is out tonight. Same thing for Lukashevich, who Anthony Noreen mentioned plays about 25 to 30 minutes for these RedHawks. In their place, Braden Morrison. They'll go with 13 forwards and 6 defensemen. It'll be Braden Morrison stepping in for the injured Hay, and then Justin Stupka, who was out last night, will be the 13th forward as Miami goes with 6 defensemen.
Yeah, and it's going to really hurt this team because Ethan Hay's so good at the face-off. Lukashevich was playing brilliant last night as well, and then went down with that injury. So interesting to see how this team can adjust on this Saturday night here inside of Oxford, Ohio.
Absolutely. Same lineup for Western Michigan. We'll touch on that in a minute. For the moment, though, we will turn it over to public address for the national anthem. You're listening to Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio. About to get underway here at Coach Cady Arena, Goggin Ice Center, after a nice little ceremonial puck drop. That includes Sean Corrali, in the memory of Rick Corrali, the Corrali kids. Obviously, Rick Corrali, a very memorable piece of Miami hockey history, and Sean, a player here as well, dropped the puck for Owen Michaels and Blake Messenberg. Uniforms are the same as last night. Western Michigan in their away whites, I should say their home whites, but wearing their home whites here because of Miami's uniforms. White helmets, white jerseys with some brown and yellow accents on the elbows and the bottom of the jersey. Brown pants and white socks with brown and yellow accents as well. Miami wearing their Cradle of Coaches jerseys, the black with the red and gold accents, black helmets, black gloves, black pants, and black socks. So we're about to get underway here in Oxford. Starting goaltenders tonight, Mateo Drobak once again mends the net for Miami. 26 games played, 26 games started, 16-8-2 record, 2.60 goals against, and a .914 save percentage against last month's goaltender of the month for the NCHC, Hampton Slakinski, sophomore, 6'2", 175, out of the USHL for the Fargo Force. 27 games played, 2.45 goals against, and a .908 save percentage, 19-8-0 record on the season. It'll be the third line of Bradley Walker, John Emmons, and Doug Grimes for Anthony Noreen. And the first line of Ty Hendricks, Owen Michaels, and William Whitelaw as the puck is down and we are underway. Miami moving right to left and Western Michigan moving left to right. In this second battle between these two teams, William Whitelaw carries it over the blue line, fires that one just over the glove of Mateo Drobak. A quick save there by the Miami netminder. Made plenty of big saves for the RedHawks last night. Kept them in this game as Western Michigan really pushed in that first period and early in the second, as the puck is kept in along the line by Max Helgeson. That one's fired, blockered away by Slukinski. We talked about it last night, Gavin, a battle of two excellent goaltenders. Hampton Slukinski making everything look easy, and Drobak a little bit of flair of his own on a couple of saves late in last night's game, and obviously a big save early on in this one too.
Yeah, and last night Mateo Drobak's so good. You have such a good goaltender. When you struggle offensively like Miami did for most of the game, you're able to survive because you have a guy in the net like Mateo Drobak, who ultimately kept him in this one until late, where they were able to make the final push and get the victory. Huge credit to Mateo Drobak for that win last night.
Just announced on the big screen and over the PA, Miami basketball remains undefeated, 24-0, as they come out with a 90-74 victory against Marshall and the Thundering Herd on the road. But we get back here to the action at Goggin Ice Center. Miami hockey hoping to recreate some of the magic that Miami basketball has been in with. And of course, Anthony Noreen talked plenty about that last night, as this crowd really kind of powered this Miami team to victory. Really made sure to credit these Miami students, these Miami fans, on their showmanship last night and their appearance in the stands all of last night. A sellout crowd here at Goggin Ice Center, as fans still kind of coming in. Some standing room only available, some seats available, but really, really good crowd here tonight.
Back-to-back good crowds here inside of Oxford, Ohio.
Absolutely.
Women's got the win earlier in basketball
got the win as well, yes.
Great sports weekend in Oxford, and hockey looking to cap things all off here on this Saturday night.
100% as that one shot in and scored. A flubbed shot a little bit on the back end by Cowan for Western Michigan. Kind of a nothing play, but Bobby Cowan scores his 5th goal of the year on a backhand from way high in the zone. Mateo Drobak had no idea where that one was coming from and lost it just before he was able to make the save off the post and in. And Western Michigan, on their first shot of the game, takes a 1-0 lead.
Just sneaks right past Drobak, like you said. Didn't really know where it was coming from, and it got right behind him and found the back of the net. Kind of a nothing play for Western Michigan, but it ends up in a goal.
Cowan made a nice move around defenseman Ryder Thompson for Miami, and before he was hit by another Miami player, just kind of backhanded that one to the net. Just kind of a lofting play, and Drobak again was screened by a couple of big frames, and regardless, unable to see that. And Western Michigan able to take advantage. 1-0 here for the visitors as now Western Michigan goes back to work before the puck is turned over. Now it's Ilya Morozov, the youngest player in college hockey. Had an assist last night on one of David Deputy's 2 goals. His tying goal assisted primarily by Sean McEwen, but as he said in last night's press conference, a really hard play was made by Morozov, as now it's Ty Hendricks fires, that one scores! Another battle won along the wall by Ty Hendricks, and this Western Michigan first line strikes.
And it's sucked the life out of Coach Cady Arena, as well as not many people standing anymore. And just a moment ago, is everybody standing inside of Coach Cady Arena. A quick start for the Broncos as they've came out firing 2-0 already. Looking for a statement after last night's loss.
I'd be curious to see if they're going to challenge for goalie interference here, as it looked a little bit like there was some contact. They are going to challenge for it. As we're watching this replay here, it looked like there was some contact in the crease by William Whitelaw, who kind of backed into Mateo Drobak. We'll see. Last night, also an early challenge from Anthony Noreen for a major penalty before Western Michigan's first goal. Did not result in a successful challenge, but you know, we talked about this last night, Gavin. Maybe kind of use that as a little bit of a timeout to try and deflect Western Michigan's momentum.
It slowed things down and kind of got them to, you know, freshen up and, you know, regroup in a way. And also, you know, you get a chance maybe to get a call going your way, a home call your way. And hopefully you can get this one to go your way if you're Anthony Noreen and the RedHawks, because right now Western Michigan with all of the momentum early here.
And it'll be curious. I'm not exactly sure how strict NCHC officials are on goalie interference. There certainly was contact in the crease, and it was enough for Mateo Drobak to kind of throw his arms up after the goal, but we're going to get our call here from referee Mike Sheehan. So Miami is successful. There is goaltender interference. No goal on the play. William Whitelaw makes contact with Mateo Drobak in the crease, and Miami only finds themselves down 1.
And that's huge. That is absolutely massive. After that first goal that kind of just found the way in the back of the net, that one right there was able to get the goalie interference. Ultimately, it's going to stay 1-0 and help the momentum for the RedHawks as they're looking for something here.
We saw last night the kind of only offense for Miami was off the stick of David Deputy on an early breakaway that Hampton Slukinski kicked away with ease. And after that, really nothing going as David Deputy now outlets to Max Helgeson. Helgeson tries to make a cross-ice feed for Coach Adelic near side, but unable to convert, as a good stick there from Colby Volk knocks it out of midair and gives the Broncos a little bit of relief moving into their zone. Now Coach Adelic tries to tip it in, but it's going to go all the way down for icing. So a successful challenge by the RedHawks. Keep this a 1-goal game. Western Michigan only 1 shot on goal, but also that being a goal. 1-0 for the visitors, 16:50 remaining in the first period.
And so far, pretty similar to what last night looked like when it came to offensive possession, all been Western Michigan so far. And if the RedHawks are going to play like this again, I mean, it's going to be a tough battle for them all night, but they're going to have to take advantage of their breakaway chances that they'll get.
And we saw last night, talked about it a lot, Gavin, just kind of about their ability to counterattack instead of really possessing the puck. Western Michigan very, very good at possessing the puck in their offensive zone. And you know, we said the word suffocating a lot on defense as Western Michigan fires that one. That's Alex Kalbick, the 7th defenseman for the Broncos, fired that one wide. Now he has it again on the far side. Now Zach Sharp. Sharp fires that one, blocked in front by Kyle LaCoin, graduate student defenseman from Harvard who transferred in this year. Stick is broken for Doug Grimes, and that's going to give Western Michigan a little bit of advantage before he gets the stick off the bench. And now he makes a good, strong play there on Eero Hakkarainen. Now Coach Adelic comes down. Fires it over to the near side, but there's nobody there. Aucoin and Grimes both cutting to the net. A good play by Sharp moving the other way. Sharp finds a man in the middle. Big save there by Troback. What a save on Sharp, who is cutting to the net. Now it's Bradley Walker. Near side for Michael Phelan, but the play goes offside just a moment too soon. As Walker pushed the puck over the line, but Michael Phelan just a little bit over.
And what a save by Troback, and it almost turned the other way as RedHawks had a little bit of a run and an advantage. Ultimately, the offside's called, but those are the type of plays that make huge differences, obviously, and the RedHawks coming out in on transition right after. Big save as well. Got to take advantage of stuff like that.
And that was not Sharp on the shot. I believe that was Cole Spicer on the end of that shot that put it right into Mateo Troback's pads, and now we're going to have a little bit of an equipment issue. But like we were talking about, Gavin, the counterattack for Miami against the Western Michigan team that is all about puck possession is extremely important. Last night, David Deputy on the stretch pass missed it, but the tying goal came from Coach Adelic on a 2-on-1, and that's kind of what you need. You need to convert on your chances on the rush if you're this Miami team. Puck is played down into the zone for Miami. It's Braden Morrison who's into the lineup for the first time in a while for head coach Anthony Noreen, but Western Michigan exits without an issue. Garrett Sidlowski takes a hit from Sean McEwen, who played plenty of minutes last night after the injury to Vladislav Lukashevich. A quick turnover by Emmons. It's McKenzie, Tyler McKenzie. There didn't see a lot of ice time last night, but created the turnover there. Sean McEwen's just going to exit out and throw it all the way down. Puck is rolling, but no icing there for Miami. Now it's Theo Wahlberg. Wahlberg tries to stretch pass up to Owen Michaels, the captain for this Broncos team. Miami's Ryder Thompson is just able to whack it away. And now he has it back in his own defensive zone after a dump in by Western Michigan. Now Ilya Morozov will just backhand flip it to Mateo Giampa, who's walled off there by two Western Michigan defenders. Now William Whitelaw. Whitelaw flips it over to Michaels. Michaels gives up to Ty Hendricks. Hendricks throws that one on, had the goal, but was discounted due to goalie interference just a moment ago. Still 1-0 Western Michigan. Shots 3-1 in favor of the visitors. Now it's Giampa. Giampa will backhand sauce it in. He'll go for a change, and the rest of his line will as well. And here comes the third line for Miami, Walker, Emmons, and Grimes. Casper Nossen takes over. Miami is going with 13 forwards, so we'll see a double shift from Doug Grimes here, actually. Toss in there by Kalbick. Mateo Troback uses his stick to stop the puck's progression around the boards, and a throw out from Liam Valente will stop play for a moment.
And as we get some stoppage here, I mean, you talked about it momentarily, but McEwen last night was brilliant. I thought he was the unsung hero late down the stretch for this RedHawk team. His defense and the plays that he made down the stretch were so vital for the victory ultimately for this team. He got him into a spot where they could tie things up, and then he was just great down the stretch. I was really impressed with what he did. He had to step up big once Lukashevich went out, and McEwen stepped up to the table and did it.
And Sean McEwen got plenty of, we're going to get a break here. Coach Adelic comes down near side, tries to throw it middle for Deputy. Deputy tries to backhand it as Nick Donato was pinching in from the defensive part of the Miami ice, but was deflected out of play. A good defensive play there by the Western Michigan Broncos defense on the back check. And like you mentioned, Gavin, Sean McEwen, plenty of props from head coach Anthony Noreen in last night's press conferences. He said the first person other than his mom to get the news that Anthony Noreen was taking this job was Sean McEwen, as there's a reason that he knew that he wanted him to come here. He knew that he would elevate his play. It was because he was a captain for so long, a leader for so long on the teams that Anthony Noreen coached and watched. And it was an easy choice to try and get Sean McEwen here, because despite not being the most flashy player on this team, or even the most skilled player on this team, they knew the kind of opportunity that he would have here and the kind of skill that he would showcase when asked to step up in those big moments, like when Vladimir Lukashevich was sent out due to injury. As we're going to get an offside here from Western Michigan.
And it doesn't get much bigger than the moment he had last night. You know, Lukashevich goes down, you have to step up. You got the reigning national champs inside your building in a sold-out crowd. I mean, and he stepped up to the table, like I said. It was just brilliant stuff from McEwen.
Puck is dropped in the neutral zone. Volk is going to send it in for the Broncos as there's a battle that ensues below the goal line. Good interception there by McKenzie, and he'll play it up to Volk once more. There's a couple of bodies falling over. It's Phelan and Beatty in front. A couple of whacks given by both players, and we play on. Now it's Volk once more near side. Plays center point. Fired there by Wahlberg, but that's blocked by Phelan. Phelan tries to exit the zone there for Morozov. Morozov will just whack it out of play and hits off a Western Michigan Bronco, stays in the neutral zone, and now it's back all the way in Western Michigan's defensive zone. And here comes William Whitelaw, the Michigan transfer. Good step there by Michael Quinn to kind of delay him for a moment, and the turnover results on the stick of Ilya Morozov. Now Mateo Giampa plays cross ice for McEwen. McEwen near side, fires that one off the end wall. It bounces right to the stick of Ryan Smith, who's hit there by Ty Hendricks, and Hendricks exits that one out. Near side is Zach Sharp. Sharp makes a nice move to the net, and Mateo Droback is hit hard. He's guided in by Michael Quinn, but we saw it last night. Now Droback getting in the face of Sharp, and Sharp was hit hard by Grimes last night. Mateo Droback, obviously, after last night, not afraid to throw a punch, and those two are jawing. And Zach Sharp's going to go to the penalty box here for goalie interference.
And this is the type of stuff you want to see out of your goaltender. I mean, a little bit of spice. Droback, he showed it last night, and it was huge for, you know, this momentum of this game last night. He's done it again tonight as he's barking in the face there, and ultimately gets the penalty as well. And Sharp's going to be in the box when we return.
And Zach Sharp, one of the very skilled players on this Western Michigan defense, and Mateo Droback last night was more bothered by Eero Hakkarainen than anybody, but obviously not afraid to show that fire as we hit our first media timeout. We'll be right back with you. Score 1-0 in favor of the visiting Western Michigan Broncos. You're listening to Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio. Back here at Goggin Ice Center, Steve, Coach Cady Arena for Alumni Weekend. We got a little bit of a ceremony early on with the late Rick Corrali, a integral member of this Miami hockey's history. And obviously these Miami players currently trying to put on a show for the alumni that are in the house, and they will get a chance to make things interesting as they go to the power play here after Zach Sharp sits in the box for 2 minutes for goalie interference.
Well, they definitely made the alumni proud last night. All of the alumni in the building last night definitely pleased with the victory, of course. And I think one thing that we should note here in the first period is that last night the RedHawks didn't play their best hockey at all, but ultimately able to pull off a victory. So I think that's something that, you know, they have in their minds today. We can play better, and we won last night playing worse.
For sure. David Deputy has the puck on the goal line, but that's before he turns the puck over, and Western Michigan will just send it all the way down on the penalty kill. Like you mentioned, Gavin, last night's first period, not good for Miami. Lots of puck possession in favor of the Broncos, and a turnover here by Michael Quinn. It's Hakkarainen. Hakkarainen makes a move, but loses the puck. Droback was down and out. But Hakkarainen lost the puck. A really fortunate break for Michael Quinn, whose turnover was not nearly what you need. Tried to make a drop pass and just ended up losing the puck. Now it's Hakkarainen against Michael Quinn once more, one-on-one here. Dragon fires right into the chest of Droback, who frees it for a moment and gets the whistle before playing the puck a little bit too late. 1:13 remaining on this Miami power play, but all Western Michigan through the first 47 seconds.
Yeah, it's one of those 47 seconds where you just hold your breath the entire time, it feels like. And we had a lot of those last night as well.
Absolutely. Last night, the power play really struggled. Miami's power play down to 14%. Only scored 15 on 107 attempts this season. And their play on special teams has been more focused through the penalty kill than anything. Miami's team defense in general has been much better over the last month and a half, as we saw last night and even the series against St. Cloud where they swept at Herb Brooks Memorial Center. As Western Michigan clears that puck all the way down with 50 seconds remaining on the Miami man advantage. It's Ryder Thompson as a new unit comes out for Anthony Noreen. Thompson up to Smith. Ryan Smith will dump it in cross corner. Mateo Giampa tries to get there early, and Wahlberg tries to exit the zone, just throws it down, but a good hand stop there by Thompson gives Miami possession. Now Mateo Giampa on the far wall. Thompson center point back to Giampa. Giampa holds, fires, that one sticked away by Hampton Slukinski. Good save there by the sophomore goaltender. 20 seconds remaining on the Miami power play. It's Droback out to play it behind his own net, and now Ryder Thompson leaves it off for Kyle LaCoin. LaCoin stretches it for Doug Grimes. Grimes holds on the wall, backhands that, but it's hits the body of Zach Bookman. The puck is played down low. Grimes hammers Bookman on the end wall, and he's going to get a penalty for that. Bookman down and out. Probably a boarding penalty coming if I had to guess. Puck is now in Miami's offensive zone, but Doug Grimes is going to go to the box here after a hard hit on Bookman that left him down. He's back on the bench now. Good to see that he's all right, but you know, Grimes not afraid to be a physical player. We saw that last night, but obviously need to be disciplined while you're physical. And talking to the linesman, we'll see what penalty he gets here. Yeah, it'll be boarding for 2 minutes. And the Western Michigan power play connecting at 19.4% throughout this season, and we'll see what they can do here. Lots of puck possession for them last night on the man advantage as well.
And we saw Doug Grimes lay a huge hit last night behind the net as well, and that one was clean. But this one here, you know, it's going to cost them a penalty, and now Western Michigan with the advantage right after Miami had the advantage.
And if you see those numbers and you're a referee and a guy like Doug Grimes comes in and hits you from behind, that's going to be a penalty every time. And now Western Michigan gets a man advantage. It's Sam Scholin. They win the draw. Now it's Slukinski. Naring tips that one, but just wide. And now it's Valente. Valente tries to play at center point for Scholin, who had a goal last night. Was probably one of Western Michigan's best players, if not their best player. Was rewarded last night with a goal that trickled through Mateo Droback. And now Naring plays it down low for Slukinski. Slukinski over to Hendricks. Cross ice for Valente, but that one's tipped by a Miami stick and moves back to Western Michigan zone. 9:27 remaining in this first period. 1:27 remaining in this Western Michigan power play. It's Owen Michaels. Michaels harassed there by Walker. Now Morozov will play it back to his own net for Thompson. Thompson will just sky that one on net. Bounces on Slukinski, makes a save on that one. And Western Michigan will have to regroup. Now it's Bookman. Bookman across his own blue line. Dumps back for William Whitelaw. Whitelaw across the center M, now over the offensive zone, but it's offside as Hakkarainen was a step too early.
And a great first minute on the penalty kill for the RedHawks. Defensively looking like their best so far in this first period.
Miami's penalty kill, I should say, is at 80.2% coming into this game. Western Michigan's is at 83.5, so two strong penalties, or penalty kills, I should say, against an NCHC that boasts a lot of excellent power plays. Owen Michaels across to William Whitelaw. Now over the blue line, it's Hakkarainen. We'll just dump it in low. Michael Phelan's there to meet it, though, and he'll just send it back out to the neutral zone. 42 seconds remaining on the Broncos power play. It's Ryder Thompson after a dump in. Now Helgeson. Helgeson plays it out to the middle, and Bradley Walker will just send it all the way down. forcing Western Michigan to get a change. Miami gets a change as well. It's Bookman. Bookman back on the ice. Good to see there. Now it's Zach Sharp. Sharp out wide for Valente. Down to Naring. Cross-ice feed is intercepted there by John Emmons, and that's rimmed around all the way. Kalbeck unable to get there. The puck is sent down once again. 7 seconds remaining on this Miami penalty kill. Now it's Grant Slukinski, the brother of his netminder Hampton. Sean McEwen will play that one back out, and we return to even strength. Miami's penalty kill is 1 for 1 tonight. Now it's David Deputy across center ice. Deputy is called offside. Grimes had his leg over the blue line, but was called offside anyway. And Grimes is a little bit frustrated with that as he heads back to the bench, but regardless, we're going to get a neutral zone faceoff. Never going to win that argument.
No. I don't even know if Grimes realized that he was offsides or not. It was pretty obvious.
So it'll be Ilya Morozov against Iro Hakkarainen. Mentioned Hakkarainen's name a lot last night. Received a punch from Mateo Drobak and gave the business to plenty of Miami players throughout last night. Obviously very, very skilled as well. 13 points in 26 games so far this year. Third line center for these Broncos, but a crucial part. As now it's Volk fires. That one's blocked in front by Phelan. And Phelan will just dump it out for Coach Adelik. Coach Adelik comes out near side with Giampa. Giampa holds, backhands that one to net, but that one's punched away by Theo Wahlberg, and now Delic behind the net once more. Delic plays to the point, is Quinn. Quinn fires that one just wide. Slukinski doesn't have a blocker. Slukinski's bare hand, he's waving, and the ref will finally blow it dead as his blocker was out in the middle, or I guess more towards the left side of the slot, and that's the reason he was so out of position. He had it taken off and just decided to get out of the way, which is obviously a good decision. You know, you don't want to save a 80-mile-per-hour shot with your bare hand.
I wouldn't, at least,
I think that's unadvisable. You know, if that was just me, you know, some people, some goalies, I'm sure would be like, I'm just gonna get Marc-Andre Fleury out there. I'm sure he'd be able to play that. But regardless, we get a stoppage, and Miami will have an offensive zone draw. Face-off win for Blake Messenberg. It's McEwen fires. That one's batted away by Slukinski. Puck is loose in front. Miami unable to get to it. Slukinski holding the line. Play out front. That one fires, but it's wide. It's McEwen again, and now it's Messenberg pressing. Messenberg plays it around for Morrison. McEwen pitchforks that one ahead. It's Messenberg below the goal line. A big goal line stand there by Slukinski and the Broncos. Michael Quinn back to chase it, but it'll be icing. A huge opportunity there for the RedHawks to strike. I'm not sure if that shot from McEwen was blocked or not, but we're going to have to see that on the replay, as it doesn't get much better than that. Slukinski was out of position. Look here in a moment as Slukinski made a big save with his right pad on the initial shot. The puck came back around to John Emmons, and Emmons fired. It was blocked by Garrett Sidlowski. A huge block there for the Broncos. As now it's David Deputy making some nice moves at the Miami blue line. Deputy holds the offensive zone, fires that one, but it sticks aside by Sam Scholand, who is tight on him. And we reach our second and final media timeout of this first period. So a couple of chances for Miami, but Hampton, Slukinski, and the Broncos stand strong and remain in the lead. 1-0 shots, 4-3 in favor of the visitors. We will return after this break. You're listening to Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio. score is 1-0 in favor of the visiting Western Michigan University Broncos, the number 4 team in the country, 19-8-0 overall, 11-6 in the NCHC versus Miami, 17-8-2 overall, and 8-7-2 in the NCHC following last night's overtime victory against this Broncos team. Gavin, probably the biggest Miami win in years.
Yeah, it was an awesome atmosphere here and an awesome moment for Miami athletics in general.
Kolbeck fires that one, saved by the shoulder of Mateo Drobak. Puck is rimmed around as this first line for Western Michigan is really moving their feet tonight. They look excellent so far. Max Helgeson will just bank it off the boards, trying to find David Deputy, but a good pick off there by Zach Sharp. And he'll just dump it in and go for a change, as now it's Helgeson once more for Miami after the play from Mateo Drobak. Now Sean McHugh far side. He'll stretch it up to Doug Grimes, who will just backhand tap it in. Slukinski tries to get there, but fans on the poke attempt. Now it's Slukinski who takes a big hit there from Bradley Walker, the bowling ball. He was physical last night and continues that style of play as he usually does every time he's in this lineup. Michael Phelan takes a hit from Slukinski, who gets right back up. Now it's Doug Grimes playing against Theo Wahlberg. Those are two big bodies on the far side. And the puck goes out of play after a little bit of a stick battle on the Miami blue line. We'll get a neutral zone drop.
We saw a physical matchup last night, and it's carried into Saturday like expected. But last night, bodies were flying everywhere, and we see a big hit on Slukinski down there from Bradley Walker, who laid a few big hits last night.
Bradley Walker, the freshman, 6'1", 205 pounds, 6 points in 21 games. But you know what? Kid's got a lot of energy and sure has a lot of stuff, as that one's fired in and scored. Zachariah Wisdom with a snipe. Almost a nothing play as a Miami player was down in the middle of the ice, and Zachariah Wisdom, who missed 2 wide open nets last night, absolutely rips that one home, far corner on Mateo Drobak, and no way for the goaltender to get that one.
Referees meeting up and talking momentarily, discussing the goal.
I mean, it looked like there could have been an interference penalty on Wisdom.
Wouldn't that be something?
I mean, we're going to get a call here. So they're going to get a potential major penalty review here, as it looked like Wisdom slew-footed the man in front. I'm not sure who that is for Miami, but you see Wisdom come in from behind him. It was Coach Adelic, and really kind of took the legs out from under him. I mean, that's a pretty blatant. You see, I mean, threw him down to the ice. I'm not sure if his leg comes through, but definitely threw him down to the ice. Delic hopped right back up, but Wisdom was his man, and then Wisdom right after the play, as Delic is just getting to his feet, snipes it home, and, you know, obviously would be a huge victory for Miami to win this review for the major penalty, but obviously you can't rely on that, and Miami's, regardless of if they get this win on the review for the major penalty, they really need to start creating some chances here in their offensive zone.
I noticed that Delic was on his back, like arms in the air and everything. It was pretty clear.
And it's worth mentioning, this is a referee-initiated review. This is not a challenge from Miami. They challenged a potential major penalty last night and were unsuccessful, and obviously have already challenged a goaltender interference tonight and were successful. So they're 1 for 2 on the weekend, but this is a referee-initiated penalty, as, like you said, Gavin, the referees after the goal met up in their little crease here on this near side and are now reviewing it. But we look at this replay, and obviously very physical plays happening here, as Delic and Wisdom kind of get into it off the face-off. They're matched up here on this right wing, and Wisdom takes out Delic with his stick, And then Wisdom again throws him to the ice and then kind of looks to see if there's going to be a penalty or not. But this is going to take a minute for referees Mike Sheehan and Nick Krebsback to figure out.
Yeah, I mean, a long review, like you said, but it started right at the face-off. I mean, right once the face-off started and it was initiated.
So it is worth mentioning, though.
Started.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's worth mentioning that this was not called a penalty at all during the play, which might have an effect on the eventual call here. You know, you have to make sure that it is a major before we get a call. We're going to get a call here. So there is a major penalty, so the goal will be called off once again.
Wow.
Miami remains down 1-0. The goal is no good, as referee Nick Krebsback just signaled. And Zachariah Wisdom's going to go to the box here.
And last night we used the word kind of hanging around the RedHawks, and right now, I mean, they could easily be down 3-0, but
100%.
2 goals waved off
Absolutely.
now, and there's something cooking in Miami athletics, I think. You know, the basketball team's 24-0, and then you got a lot of things swinging in the hockey team's way right now, especially this weekend. It's good to see, though.
Absolutely, and you know, obviously a fortunate break for Miami, but hard to argue with the slew foot there. I mean, he comes in from behind him, takes his leg out, pretty blatant, and Zachariah Wisdom is heading back to the Western Michigan locker room. Not sure if he's going to get a game misconduct, but we'll see here once the official scoring is put in. Regardless, Miami's going to have a long power play. .5:02 remaining in the first period. Western Michigan still up 1-0. You know, I doubt that's anything more than a 5-minute major, but regardless, it's still a major penalty. .5:02 remaining, no reason for him to sit in the box.
Right. I mean, what an opportunity for the RedHawks now.
Like you said, I mean, this is a huge opportunity for Miami. Ilya Morozov loses the faceoff, and a good clear there by Western Michigan to begin this 5-minute penalty kill for the Broncos. Michael Quinn dumps back for David Deputy, the 2-goal scorer last night, the hero of last night's game, crosses the center M and dumps it far side for Ilya Morozov. Morozov will play it back up to the point for Quinn. Quinn gives off for Morozov. Morozov far side, back to center for Quinn. Quinn down low for Nassen. Nassen and Quinn, 2 returners from last year. Now Deputy plays it in front. Puck is up in the air, but Hampton Slukinski had no problem with that, and we're going to get a play blown dead for a hand pass on Deputy. So Miami will go for a change here. Still no official scoring on the penalty, but would have to be it's a 5-minute major for slew footing or tripping of some sort. Ryan Smith takes the faceoff, wins it back. Thompson gives over to Mateo Giampa, far side. William Whitelaw gives a little bit of a hook there, but no problem. Max Helgeson fires that one well high of the crossbar, but a really hard shot from the Alaska Anchorage transfer. Puck is rimmed around, and the Broncos aren't able to hold on to it. Now it's Thompson center point, gives off for Giampa far side. Now Thompson center point. Thompson fires, blocked away by Slukinski. Now Helgeson loses it for a moment. Now Grant Slukinski moves forward with it with Eero Hakkarainen 2-on-2. Slukinski holds on to his backhand, makes a nice spin move, but has his pocket picked by Smith as he falls over. Puck moves in front of the net as Hakkarainen stands there. Smith lost it for a moment, and boy, was that too close of a call for Mateo Drobak and the RedHawks. Now Deputy once more. 3:23 remaining on this power play for Miami. It's Delic. Delic will dump it in, and Morozov goes to meet it. Morozov makes a nice play on the wall. Now Nassen one-timer. That one hits off nothing and just goes off the end wall and finds a man in the Miami jersey. Now deputy near side, Nassen. Nassen over to Quinn center. Now Morozov. Morozov holds down low. It's Delic, but he tries to make a move, and a good poke there by Slukinski. Puts the puck on the end wall, and a clear there by the Broncos, but out of play. Will keep the puck in the zone for Miami. It'll be a 5-minute major for interference on Zachariah Wisdom. So with 2:57 remaining on this penalty kill for Western Michigan, 2:58 remaining in this first period, if you're Miami, you're going to need some better shots here, as able to maintain a little bit of possession, but really nothing threatening.
Yeah, like I was going to use the word scarce. Like nothing's really threatened or scared this Western Michigan team yet on this penalty.
Michael Quinn, center point, gives low for Nassen on the near side dot. Now Deputy fires a one-timer, but that one goes wide. Quinn able to hold the zone. Now Nassen near side. Unable to keep the pass clean. Now Deputy leaves it, but a good clear there by Zach, nearing the Winnipeg Jets draft pick for Western Michigan. 2:33 remaining on this Miami power play. It's Coach Delic near side. Delic using his legs will just dump it in and chase against Volk and Wahlberg. Wahlberg leaves it off for Volk, but Volk unable to get it out. It's Morozov, but the puck bounces over his stick, and now here comes William Whitelaw. Whitelaw makes a move to the middle. Nice backhand move. Tries to make another one around Quinn, and Quinn just pastes him into the boards. Says no, sir, and now Miami comes the other way. It's Nassen. Now it's Deputy, but the play goes offside as the puck hit a Western Michigan defender, and now Owen Michaels and David Deputy have a little bit of fun after the whistle. Some pushing and shoving there between the Broncos captain and the Miami leading goal scorer, but nothing too serious. Saw that a couple times last night, Gavin.
Yeah, I mean, it's no shocker that you're trying to get Deputy stirred up after last night. You know, it was successful and ultimately got him out for 10 minutes of the game, and that's just a huge part. But, you know, Deputy's kept his cool so far in this one. He keeps his cool there. For the most part, just some pushing and shoving. Nothing major.
We're going to get a neutral zone draw on the center M. Some battling by Wahlberg and Grimes. Those are two big bodies. Theo Wahlberg, 6'5", 215. And Doug Grimes, 6'3", 215. So two guys who are about the same height and weigh the same. Those two big bodies that are battling Miami with 1:49 remaining on this power play. Ryder Thompson keeps the puck in, but a good play there by Grant Slukinski, Western Michigan's assist leader, to exit the zone with the puck, and now Giappa will just paste Eero Hakkarainen. Hakkarainen gives a little bit of a hook, a nice between the legs play, good save there by Drobak. And Hakkarainen gets a little bit of a hit from Smith, as tried to avoid a little bit of contact in the crease with Drobak, and Smith kind of comes in, gives him a little bit of the business, but both end up standing, no one's going to the box, and a good move there by Hakkarainen, obviously displaying some of the skill that we saw last night, outside of poking the bear, I guess you could say.
Well, hey, Hakkarainen had the biggest play of the night for Western Michigan when he stirred up Deputy ultimately. I mean,
Absolutely.
That was huge. He's super skilled, but also really good at just poking the bear and, you know, stirring conflict.
Western Michigan wins the draw on the penalty kill, and Coach Delic looking for a stretch pass up the middle. Kasper Nassen didn't pick his head up and just decided to keep the puck and play it safe. Puck is rimmed around the offensive zone. Now it's Deputy. Deputy plays it to Quinn. Kasper Nassen fires a one-timer. Left pad save. Fires. There's Deputy in the slot, but just goes wide on Slukinski. A big first save, and then the rebound kicked out to Deputy, but Slukinski maintains his net, and there's 1 minute exactly remaining in the Miami power play. Coach Delic gives wide for Nassen. Nassen will just dump it back down low, but nobody's there, and Western Michigan will just have the easiest clear that they could ask for. So Miami has the last 5 minutes on the power play, and thanks to a Zachariah Wisdom major for interference, a goal is discounted, and they get a 5-minute power play, but not able to get really anything going as Slukinski plays that one out. Backhand shot there by Doug Grimes, but Slukinski makes a chest save. Pretty routine for the Broncos goaltender, and now 18 seconds remain in the first period. 15 on the power play. Thompson Plays it up for Smith. Smith makes a move around one. Enters the zone, gives off for Doug Grimes. Grimes kicked it to himself. Fires, there's Giampa, but that one's saved by the blocker of Slukinski. Giampa tries to play it to the middle. Miami pushing, it's Grimes, out to the slot. Helgeson fires, but the buzzer goes, and now we're gonna get a little bit of a stir here as the Broncos not happy that Helgeson fired it after the whistle. Granted, puck was right on his stick, nothing else you could do. But regardless, Zach Sharp, and here comes Doug Grimes getting into it. Those two made some contact last night, and Grimes getting right in the face of him, and William Whitelaw comes to help out. And if you know Doug Grimes, then he's gonna love that. They're gonna come out firing, at least he will, in this second period. So Western Michigan enters the intermission up 1-0, Gavin, but shot 7-6 in favor of Miami, thanks to that 5-minute major by Zachariah Wisdom. If you're Western Michigan, probably happy that you escaped that 5-minute major, but if you're Miami, looking for something to kind of reward yourself for staying in that period, considering, like you said earlier, it could be 3-0 right now.
Right, you survived. Once again, we said it a lot last night, you survived that period, but a little frustrating to end off the period. You know, you had a 5-minute power play and nothing to show of it. You're down 1-0 after one, but like you said, ultimately could be down 3-0 in this one or even more. But it is what it is. RedHawks gonna have to go adjust during this intermission, but some tempers flare late after the horn blows here inside Coach Cady Arena, and as expected, lots of temper in the air and on the ice, especially between these players.
Absolutely, and we're going to have an exciting remaining 40 minutes, next 20 minutes. But before that, Will Salzarulo has your intermission report here on Red Hawk Radio. My name is Jeff Middleton alongside Gavin Stark. Catch us for the second period. Before that, Will Salzarulo will have everything you need to know. You're listening to Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio. Stay with us.
to Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio. And I'm your host, Will Salzarilla, and this is your first intermission report here live in Gavin Arena. There's only one goal in the first period. It was by Western Michigan's Zakara Wisdom, marked the score sheet first. This is by Alex Kolbeck and Bobby Cowan. It was a very early goal into the first, about a minute 48 into the first period. A lot of penalties in this first opening period. Zach Sharp of WMU, 2 minutes for goaltender interference. Doug Grimes for Miami, 2 minutes for boarding. Bobby Cohen, also from the Broncos, a 5-minute major penalty for interference. However, Miami, this is something they need to work on for sure. Getting these special teams, getting on the power play, getting that puck on the back of the net, and also capitalize on scoring opportunities. There was a massive scoring opportunity halfway through the first, and Miami could not capitalize on it. So that's why they're behind in this game so far. Shots on net, Miami's actually out shooting shots on goal against Western Michigan, however, is a very close one. 7 for Miami, 6 for Western Michigan. So at the end of the first, Miami's down 1-0 in favor of Western Michigan. Some of their matchups in the NCHC: St. Cloud's at Arizona State, number 3 North Dakota's at number 10 Minnesota Duluth. The score is scoreless, so score 0-0 here in the state of hockey. Colorado College is at number 8 Denver. The game has not started yet, so no goals there. I've been Will Salzarilla. That's about all the time we have for this first intermission report. Stay tuned for coverage of the second period, live coverage of the second period with play-by-play by Jeff Middleton, color commentary by Gavin. I've been Will Salzarilla. You're listening to Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio. Stay tuned.
Back in Oxford, Steve Coach Cady Arena, Jeff Middleton alongside Gavin Stark as we get set for this middle frame between the number 4 Western Michigan University Broncos and your Miami RedHawks. Gavin, in the first period, a couple of disallowed goals kept Miami in this thing. Shot 7-6 in favor of the RedHawks, but Western Michigan carried a lot of that play. A 5-minute power play that didn't result in any goals, but a couple of chances for the RedHawks. What do they need to do here to get on the board here against Hampton-Slikinski and the Broncos?
Well, it's the same thing that we said all weekend. Possession of the puck. They have to, possess the puck and see some opportunities. It felt like a lot of that 5-minute power play that they had, they didn't see too many good opportunities either when they had possession of the puck. So just good shots on the goal. You got a good guy in Slikinski that you're facing, so you need some good shots.
You mentioned it last night, Gavin, a battle of the goaltenders as the puck is down and we are underway for the second period. Mateo Drobak sticks away a shot as Western Michigan gets on the attack here early. Owen Michaels plays it down low for William Whitelaw below the goal line. Stick handles around John Emmons, tries to play it out in front for Zach Bookman, who's pinching down from the blue line, but unable to get it through. And now it's Bradley Walker who will just backhand it out to Doug Grimes, and Doug Grimes will throw it out to the middle as Grimes is tripped up, and not going to be a penalty called here. It'll be a hand pass. But yeah, Gavin, I mean, these two teams obviously very physical, very, I guess you could say, intertwined with one another in terms of physical battles in front of the net, and Miami really hasn't been able to possess a bunch during this weekend, but they've been able to strike when they've needed to, and it comes off of things like offensive zone faceoffs or rushes on the counterattack. And kind of this is a really important period. We saw yesterday the second period was a really important period for the RedHawks, kind of changing their momentum and taking things away from the Broncos as fast as they could, even though it was a gradual switch. Again, if you're just joining us, Miami wearing their Cradle of Coaches black uniforms, black helmets, black jerseys with some red, white, and gold accents. Script Miami across the front, white numbers, white names. Black pants and black socks with some red, gold, and white. Really cool jerseys. I mean, introduced them this year, and big fan of them. They've worn them a lot over the last few months.
And they've won in them. That's
exactly.
the important part.
Absolutely.
They play well in these jerseys. Look good, play good type of style, and that's what,
I love the matte black helmets. I'm a big fan of the matte black. Omaha does that within the NCHC as well. Really, really big fan of that. As Coach Adelic moves over the blue line, fires that one right into the glove of Slikinski. Western Michigan wearing technically their home whites, but because of the black uniforms for Miami, they're wearing them on the road. Broncos across the front, brown and the yellow highlights, white helmets, black gloves, or brown gloves, I should say, brown pants and white socks.
And after Slikinski gloved that shot there, Deputy was in the face of Theo Wahlberg, is 6'5" compared to the 5'8". David Deputy showing he's not afraid of anything there as they jawed back and forth.
Mateo Giampa fires that one right off the faceoff, goes wide to the glove side of Slikinski. Now Morozov below the goal line uses his wheels and will just rim it around for Ryan Smith. Smith engages in a battle there. Western Michigan wins it though. It's Volk who tries to play it up, but Morozov's there to meet it. Now Giampa hit hard from behind by Volk, and Morozov will just use his body. Morozov, once again, the youngest player in college hockey, but looking at him on the ice, you wouldn't think so. 6'3", 205-pound freshman, as that one's fired on net by Sean McEwen. Blockered away there by Slikinski. Pretty routine for the sophomore goaltender, and now Miami will just possess it in the neutral zone. Michael Quinn. Michael Quinn near side will slap it around. It rims around the boards, and Mateo Giampa's there. He'll backhand it low. Blake Messenberg trying to reach it, but is walled off there by Cole Spicer. And there's an icing call. Not exactly sure that was icing, as it looked like Bobby Cowan was there to meet it for the Broncos before any Miami players. He's not happy about it, but Miami will take the fortunate break.
Get some home breaks. That's what happens when you host a series.
The home whistles.
Yeah.
I will say, NCAC refs are usually very, very good, although this series, there have been some times for both teams where it's been a little bit questionable, but overall done a very good job this weekend.
I'd use the word fair.
I would agree. As a play out in front, John Emmons tries to get to it first, but a good defensive play there by Hampton Slukinski. Big hit laid there on Hakkarainen. That was John Emmons who laid that hit after the turnover in the offensive zone. Now Slukinski plays it around for his brother Grant, and Grant will just exit that one out as Hakkarainen dodges a hit just barely by Doug Grimes, and a rimmed around puck hits a little bit the Zamboni doors, I believe, and will just kick out right to Ryder Thompson. Now Nick Donato near side fires that one on net. Slukinski will just hold for a face-off. But yeah, like we were talking about, Gavin, the referees in the NCHC very good at their job. I mean, the NCHC is a very fast and physical league, so you have to call it kind of tighter than you usually would, and so that's why you'll see a fair share of penalties in these games. And
it's high-level hockey.
Absolutely.
You're refereeing the highest level of college hockey that there is, so.
And obviously you have guys like Eric Frank, who is a fan favorite here in Goggin, and understandably so, loves to give the fans a shout whenever he skates around for his little warm-ups. As Coach Adelic fires that one shouldered away by Slukinski. 17:20 remaining in this second period. Play up to Helgeson on the near point. Now Aucoin. Aucoin points that one to the net, but it goes wide off the end wall. Now Helgeson down low. Helgeson tried to play it low for Deputy. Fired Helgeson once more, but that one's kicked away by Slukinski. Miami pressing here. It's Deputy. Deputy below the goal line using his wheels. Backhands that one to Phelan. That one fired off the glove of Slukinski. Now Aucoin on the near corner. Far corner, I should say. Now Phelan plays it down low, but that one's intercepted by Sholin for a moment, but played around, and Phelan's there to meet it. Phelan will just rim it off the end wall, and Delic will slap that one down low. Pressed hard there by Helgeson is Sholin, and now Phelan. Puck ends up squeaking out of the Miami offensive zone, and now it's Braden Morrison. Haven't mentioned his name yet this series, but here he is now. Morrison holds the puck, moving around the zone near side. Quinn across ice for McEwen. McEwen holds, makes a nice move, fires that one, but it's blocked. A good block there by Tyler McKenzie, who's made his presence known defensively so far through this game. Quinn makes a nice neutral zone pass to Messenberg, who will flip it to himself in the far corner. Messenberg tries to rim that one around, but his stick is lifted there by William Whitelaw. And now it's Western Michigan to possess. It's Owen Michaels on the near side of the neutral zone, plays it far side for Bookman. Bookman will dump it in, should say avoids a big hit by McEwen, and now Quinn will play it out, or attempts to play it out to McEwen. And instead, it's Western Michigan once more. Hendricks near corner, tries to play it low for Whitelaw, who's there, and going to be a penalty called here for slashing. And it's going to be on the Broncos here. Miami will go back to the power play. Ty Hendricks, the New York Rangers prospect, will head to the box for a slash.
And here's an opportunity for the RedHawks to get their revenge. They had a 5-minute long power play to end the first period. Weren't able to show anything of it. Now you get a chance here on the power play for 2 minutes. And see what they can do with this as they're down one. But so far, offensively, looking a lot better in this first 4.5 minutes or so in the second period.
And I think the biggest thing, obviously, watching tonight compared to last night is just possession of the puck as Morozov wins the face-off back. It's Michael Quinn over to Casper Nassen far side. Nassen down to Deputy. Deputy plays it out front. Delic tries to fire that one, but has his legs taken out by Whitelaw. And Whitelaw goes over to Delic and kind of gets in his face, but nothing coming there. And, Gavin, last night, we talked about it earlier in this game, but possession was everything for Western Michigan. And now Miami last night early on was not at all good with the puck, but tonight much better in terms of their puck possession time.
Yeah, they're definitely playing better offensively throughout this first period and some change.
Now it's Whitelaw shorthanded. Tries to fire a shot, but Deputy gets a stick on it. He'll just play it over to Michaels and will backhand it all the way down to the Western Michigan zone, and they're just going to hold it before Wahlberg throws it all the way down. Mateo Drobak plays it off the end wall, and Michael Quinn behind his own net will take it on a rush for Miami. Gives up for Delic. Delic turns the puck over, though, and Grant Slukinski is just going to play it down low once more. Now Michael Quinn again. Quinn plays it neutral zone center for Deputy, but once again the puck can't stay on the stick of the Miami forward, and the Broncos will take that every day, and we'll just dump it right back down now. Deputy again. He'll dump it cross corner. Helgeson chasing after it. The Broncos try and clear. Grimes stops it at the near half wall, plays it up for Quinn, and Quinn will just give it right back. Quinn down low for Delic. Delic plays it in front. Big save there by Slukinski. Now Grimes. Grimes far corner, plays it down low for Delic. Delic will just hack it away and send it over to Deputy near point. Deputy makes a nice move around Hakkarainen, gives it far side for Helgeson, back to Deputy. Deputy near side for Quinn. Quinn down low for Delic, but that pass is interrupted just momentarily by Hakkarainen. Now Quinn fires that one right into the pads of Slukinski, and Slukinski holds on for a face-off, and it looks like Doug Grimes is going to go to the box. Not sure for what. It'll be a slash as well, as Grimes was battling with Hakkarainen in front, and Gavin, we have talked about it. Hakkarainen is so good at getting Miami to take penalties. He's been all around it last night and tonight in terms of getting these Miami players to kind of come out of.
You just kind of got to laugh at it at this point. I mean, it's not on the score sheet, but if you watch this game, you know it. Hakkarainen's been a huge part of this weekend when it comes to just stirring things up and, you know, drawing penalties. And it goes a long way, especially when you get an advantage against the RedHawks and you're up one already on them.
And if you're head coach Pat Ferschweiler, you will take that every single day as we begin our 4-on-4 play. Remember last night Miami did score. I believe it was counted shorthanded, but it was at the end of the 4-on-4 play. See if they can recreate that magic here. But regardless, 15 seconds remaining on the penalty to Hendricks before Western Michigan will take it to the power play as William Whitelaw takes it in against Ryan Smith 4-on-4. Below the Miami net, he plays it out top for Wahlberg. Wahlberg holds, fires that one right into the glove of Droback, who makes a routine save with 13:46 remaining in the second period.
I think it's worth noting at the end of the first period, there's a lot of tempers that flared, and it's definitely carried into the second period. You know, the guys had some time to cool off during intermission, but it is picked right back up. And it seems like after every stoppage, there is some type of pushing and shoving and jawing back and forth between these two teams. It's no secret they do not like each other.
You know, that's a shot comes off the face-off. A little bit of a broken play, but Miami's Mateo Droback able to make the left pad save. And like you mentioned, Gavin, a little bit of pushing, shoving, jawing. And, you know, that's about par for the course for pretty much every NCHC series that these RedHawks are going to take part in. No matter who they're playing, is every single series matters for every single team in this conference. As Sam Scholand holds it center point, Slukinski tries to make a pass down, and Michael Phelan blocks it. He's going to chase the puck here. Hampton Slukinski all the way out of his net to play it. A really good play. We saw that last night. Slukinski in his net, fantastic with the stick, able to play the puck in pretty much every situation at an excellent level. And he did it once more there.
He does not make mistakes.
No. Sean McEwen tries to slap that one out, but a good keep there by Hakkarainen, the man who drew the penalty. 38 seconds remaining on this Miami penalty. It's Whitelaw near side. Whitelaw up to Bookman. Bookman cross ice for Hakkarainen, fired. That's Valente, excuse me. Plays it over for Michaels. Now Michaels up to Bookman, back to Michaels. Michaels fires that one, blocked. Rebound, kicks out. Whitelaw was just in front of it, and now Walker is going to push it all the way down with 20 seconds remaining on the Doug Grimes penalty for slashing. Western Michigan going to get one last rush here. A good play there by Morozov. Morozov picks his pocket, but unable to keep it clean, and he'll just play it back to his defenseman. That's Thompson. Thompson's going to play it all the way back down, and Miami's going to return to even strength. 2 for 2 on the penalty kill tonight. Back to even strength we go. It's Owen Michaels across the blue line. Over to Whitelaw, far side. Now Thompson down low for the RedHawks. It's Grimes. Grimes holds it, bodies one. Over to Thompson, below the net, and now it's Phelan. He'll wait for the forecheck of Whitelaw, who makes contact with Droback. Miami fans wanting a penalty, but not going to get one. As now Thompson will just slap pass it up. That one's deflected out of play by the oncoming Hendricks. Or Hendricks, I should say, who jumped onto the ice, and we'll get a stoppage in our first media timeout with 11:51 remaining in this second period. Western Michigan still up 1-0, shots 14-9 in favor of the RedHawks. When we come back, we will have the remainder of this 11:51 in the second period. You're listening to Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio. Back at Steve Coach Cady Arena here on this Oxford Saturday night. Snowy, cold, but some good hockey being played here at Goggin Ice Center. Jeff Middleton alongside Gavin Stark as we get a neutral zone draw on the Miami end. Western Michigan up 1-0, 14-9 in favor of the RedHawks on the shot board. Play all the way down by Michael Quinn is met there by Giampa, but Slukinski comes out to play it, and here comes Cole Spicer. Spicer gives off for Cowan. Cowan unable to control it after a good poke check there by Quinn. Disrupts the play, and now McEwen looks to stretch the ice. McEwen stretches the ice indeed, but Kalbeck on the other side is not able to keep control of it, and now Miami forechecks, but now it's Cowan for Western Michigan that comes up the near side of the neutral zone. Cowan crosses the blue line, holds, fires, that one's blocked, rebound, scores! An awkward bounce for Mateo Droback, who made a clean save with the blocker, and Cole Spicer's in the right place at the right time and deposits his second goal of the year for Western Michigan to put them up 2-0.
And Droback a little frustrated after that one because, like you said, made a great save. But on the other end, Spicer there to just kind of shove it in on the back end for Western Michigan. And now they host a 2-0 lead here with 11:14 left in the second.
Be curious to see if Miami challenges for a kick. I have a feeling that they're going to.
Looks like it. It's every goal, it seems like, right? I mean,
absolutely.
We're going to the review booth every goal now, and it's all right.
We'll look at this replay, and that's a tough play because Spicer, you can see he turns his left foot. That's going to be an interesting one to see how this is called, because he does turn his left foot, and it looks like his left foot moves forward, but the line between redirecting and kicking is a little bit blurry at times.
Yeah.
We talked about Cole Spicer's story last night, but if you don't know who he is, Cole Spicer played his first 2 seasons with the UMD Bulldogs and had his second season cut short due to academic ineligibility. Last year, played with the Dubuque Fighting Saints. He had returned to the USHL and then originally committed to Arizona State, then backed out of that and is now with Western Michigan. Scoring a big goal for Western Michigan if it counts. And this is one of those things, I mean, you were successful on the first challenge, why not try again?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a good challenge either way. I mean,
I will say, like, it did show to me, it did appear to me that there was reasonable suspicion to challenge for sure. You could see that his left foot was clearly the enactor of the goal, but it'll be curious to see what the referees think, as our opinion up here doesn't really matter.
It's kind of like a catch in football, you know, like what even is it at this point?
Exactly.
It's the same thing in hockey with the kick.
The kick and goalie interference, to be honest with you. And then again, Mateo Droback, like you mentioned, Gavin, not super happy with how the rebound came out. And I don't think super happy with how the goal was scored. And look at it here on the replay. You can see it directs a redirection for sure from Spicer, which that's completely legal. You can redirect the puck in with your skate. That is a legal thing you can do, but the problem would be if there is a clear kicking motion, a distinct kicking motion that propels the puck in, and you know, it's really hard to tell from this replay that we're getting here if it is a distinct kicking motion, and we'll see what the referees can see. Obviously they have more views here than we do.
Here's a good view above the goal.
We're going to get our call here as we watch this replay.
Can't tell.
So this goal, unlike the first 2, is going to count for Western Michigan. No distinct kicking motion on the play, and like we just mentioned, really kind of hard to, unless you see the leg come out and really kick the puck in, hard to determine a redirection as a kicking motion. So if you're Cole Spicer and the Western Michigan Broncos, probably been waiting for a call to go your way all night, and there you go.
Not that the Cole Spicer had been wrong or anything, but yeah, this one goes in your favor.
Yeah. This one I would say was more kind of on the line
Yeah.
than the other two, which gives obviously Western Michigan the advantage as Miami challenged that one. They will lose their challenge and as a result their timeout for the rest of the game. Like we mentioned earlier, when Miami challenged for goalie interference and were successful. Miami challenged early last night and they were unsuccessful for a major penalty. I remember both of us being last night kind of like, why did they challenge that?
Yeah.
But you know, at the very least, maybe break up a little bit of the momentum that Western Michigan might have had at that point, as the scorekeeper's trying to get the scoreboard back up. 2-0 is our score now in favor of the Broncos. 11-12 remaining in the second period. Puck is down and we are back underway after the challenge from Miami. So unlike last night, Miami down multiple goals. As the play is brought back down to the Miami zone, it's Casper Nassen who retrieves. Now Braden Morrison gives off for Blake Messenberg. Messenberg trying to go to work against the Western Michigan Broncos defense. Gets in there right after, but lays a hit and is unable to maintain possession of the puck as it's Henricks over to Wahlberg. Wahlberg will just rim that one around again. Hits off the Zamboni doors. In a weird area of the ice all night.
I've seen that multiple times.
And now we get a hand pass called on the Broncos. And yeah, like you mentioned, Gavin, we've seen that a couple times tonight and a couple times last night.
These next 10-24 feel very, very large in this game. It's how can Miami really answer and show fight? They showed resilience all weekend. Can they do it once again and continue to fight and maybe find the back of the net once or twice here and keep things interesting?
Puck is down. It's Bookman cross ice for Scholand. And now it's up for Deputy. Deputy moving in one-on-one against Bookman. He holds, gives off, he scores, but there's going to be a penalty. We'll see if this goal counts. The RedHawks are going to celebrate. The referees are meeting. I've yet to see what the referee signaled. There was no signal. Not sure if Slakinski had it in his pads or if it did end up in the net. There was no official goal signal from the referee on the goal line. That was Nick Krebsbeck. And now they're meeting in the referee crease to determine if this did go in, as Slakinski was certainly over the line. And we're going to get our call here momentarily, as Krebsbeck did go for the microphone, and now we're going to get it.
That looks like it should be a goal.
So there is no goal on the play. It looks like David Deputy's awarded a penalty shot, though. So despite the no goal call, David Deputy will have his chance to score his third of the weekend on a penalty shot against Hampton Slakinski and cut this deficit to 1 for Miami.
There's some guarantees in life. It's death, taxes, and David Deputy breakaways.
That's right.
He had another one there.
And Deputy, interesting, Deputy goes over to Mateo Droback to ask if he sees anything on Hampton Slakinski. This is going to be fun here. 10-13 remaining on the second period. 2-0's our score, Western Michigan. We're going to get a shot for Deputy, so no goal was called. And the puck did cross the line, but Slakinski was also kind of pushed into the net. I will say, in favor of Slakinski, it's worth mentioning that Deputy's stick did kind of go right into him and forced him over the goal line.
Right. And it's so interesting. You said David Deputy went over and asked Droback if he's seen anything. That's how deep this battle of goaltenders has gone this weekend. You know, it's gone to the point where, what are you seeing between Slakinski and Droback? Like, it's just so entertaining to see these two go back and forth and just battle all weekend. It's been a real treat.
So here we go. David Deputy alone on the ice. Western Michigan and Miami watching from their benches. One-on-one with Hampton Slakinski. The puck is down. Here he comes. David Deputy takes it near side. Slowly processes in. Holds, drags, fires. Saved by Slakinski. Read that one like a book, did the sophomore netminder for the Broncos. An easy save for Slakinski to keep this game 2-0.
knew it wasn't going to be easy with Slukinski. I mean, he's brilliant and tough as nails. Has been all season. He was last year, and one of the best goaltenders in hockey for a reason. He made that one look easy once again.
And you know what's interesting? That's the same exact shot that Deputy had last night on Slukinski. And you can tell Slukinski watched film on that one because he read that one like a children's book. That was an easy save for the sophomore netminder. And now it's Giampa, plays it forward for Ryan Smith, who's just unable to catch that pass forward. The puck is swatted out of play, or not out of play, I should say, just out of the zone. And they refuse to touch it, as now the Broncos eventually do, and it's going to be a hand pass on Western Michigan.
And now it's McEwen barking back and forth with Michaels after the hand pass as they go back to their respected benches. As this series starts to wind down and we head into the halfway point of the second period, the tempers are at an all-time high. I mean, these two teams have battled all weekend with each other, and it's showing on the ice right now.
John Emmons wins the faceoff. McEwen fires, glove saved by Slukinski. Rebound, Emmons not able to get there as McEwen holds his own for a moment. Now it's Whitelaw across ice. Michael Quinn picks that one up, and here comes Bradley Walker. Walker drags, fires that one over the crossbar. Rebound, John Emmons in front, fans on it. Now it's Grimes, plays it towards the front. Bradley Walker holds, fires that one out of play. Actually, no, it's not. The play continues on, but a couple of guys slowed up, thought it might have hit the netting, but it did not. Now it's out of play after a couple of big chances there by Miami's third line.
It's interesting to note as well, I mean, the amount of opportunities that Miami's had tonight compared to last night. You know, obviously they end with 3 goals on the score sheet, but only 16 shots right now, already at 15, just one off of the total of last night. We're just halfway through the second period, so the opportunities have been there tonight.
Absolutely. Plenty more opportunities than last night, for sure, through this first period and a half for Miami, as Western Michigan wins that draw cleanly. It's Zach Bookman far side. Bookman gives up for Schoen. Schoen will just backhand that one in before it ricochets out to Bookman, and he'll just fire that one into the stick of Droback behind his net, and Phelan plays that one around. Aucoin's there to meet it, and then he plays that one up for Delic, but Delic turns it right over. Valente fires that one down low, and now Delic will just turn and go. Delic plays that one up. Deputy's there, but the stick of Schoen was right in the way. And a fan pass from Bookman before he gets hammered by Delic. Sends the puck out of play, and we'll get a neutral zone draw.
.38 left. It's now about what can Miami do? How can they answer? The opportunities continue to arise for the RedHawks, but can they take advantage of it? That's the answer we're looking for.
Nick Donato plays it around for Messenberg. This quasi-fourth line with the 13th forward has been not super active for Miami tonight, but has been active when they've been on the ice. Really strong shifts from them, as now it's Donato near point. Donato for Nassen. Nassen using his legs. One hands it off for Thompson. Thompson fires that one hard off the end wall. Bounces to the near side, but Nick Donato's not able to beat Hakkarainen, whose stick breaks. He'll have to go to the bench for a replacement, and now it's Wahlberg behind the net for the Broncos. As Volk trips on Hakkarainen's stick before Spicer has it in the offensive zone. And now Quinn will backhand sauce it for McEwen, who carries up with Giampa far side, or near side. McEwen tries to play it near side for Giampa, but the puck was skated away by Alex Kalbick. And now it's McKenzie that dumps it in cross corner. Phelan and Beatty go there to meet it. Michael Quinn for the RedHawks, plays it off the wall for Giampa. No icing called as it hits the stick of Hakkarainen. And now Giampa slips and falls hard into the end wall. We saw last night Giampa a little slow with the puck, still coming back from injury. Played last series against St. Cloud in their sweep in Minnesota, but seems like he's still kind of trying to get back up to speed. And obviously Western Michigan, a very different opponent than St. Cloud, despite both being extremely tough to play against in their own ways.
I think you've seen a better Giampa than last night for sure, but still, like you said, trying to get back into things, easing back into, you know, skating around and just handling the puck.
Puck is rimmed around the Miami zone. It's Phelan plays it up for Smith, and now John Emmons tries to use his legs, but Bookman's just a step ahead of him, and he'll just backhand toe that one out. As William Whitelaw takes a big hit in the near corner. I believe that was Michael Phelan. Rammed into him and slammed him into the near corner wall. As Theo Wahlberg, the 6'5" frame, makes a nice move. Valente fires, blocked by Doug Grimes, and now Helgeson tries to make a move around one and able to do so. Some good defense there by the Broncos. Grimes lays a big hit there on Grant Slakinski, and now Slakinski back to his feet. Tries to make a play on the puck, and now Helgeson plays it cross ice for Delic, but just out of the reach of the stick. The 6-foot forward from Ottawa, Ontario, and had it been on his tape, it was a good zone entry and probably a shot, but regardless, it goes for an icing.
Miami continuing to boast, though, with opportunities. It's like a complete opposite of last night's game. I mean, we are seeing Miami with multiple chances and multiple looks, and you know, it almost feels like the RedHawks are basically due for a goal in this one.
Play out in front, it's Cowan who makes a move around Nick Donato, tries to fake out Droback, and instead he's pasted into the goaltender for Miami. Lost the puck in the process. A really good chance there for Western Michigan, kind of right off the face-off, and puck is skyrocketed into the crowd. Hopefully everyone's all right. Looks like they are. Side note, shout out to the Dustin Bufflin Chicago Blackhawks jersey that's down there. But yeah, a really good chance for the Broncos. Should say that was a relatively easy look for Cowan, but lost the puck on the forehand backhand fake, and Mateo Droback instead had to deal with that 5'11", 175 frame getting pushed right into him. As the Skyline chili drop is occurring now, but play is about to start, and it started now as I thought there was going to be a media timeout, but not at this point, as Ty Henricks hold it. Is it in the slot for Western Michigan, as now Sam Scholin fires. That one's deflected off the shin pad of Henricks. Now cross ice back to Scholin near side. Scholin looking for an option. Makes a nice spin move on the near half wall up to Whitelaw. Whitelaw fires that one, shouldered away by Droback, and he pounces on it. And now we will get our second and final media timeout of this second period. So the score is Western Michigan 2, Miami nothing. Shots 15-11 in favor of the RedHawks. Miami looking for kind of anything they can get in terms of opportunities to try and put one on the board against Hampton Slakinski and the number 4 ranked Broncos. We'll be right back with you after this break. You're listening to Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio. 2-0 our score on a snowy Saturday here in Oxford, Ohio. Jeff Middleton alongside Gavin Stark in our final game, the 2-game series between the number 4 Western Michigan Broncos and the Miami RedHawks. Score 2-0. Shots 15-11. Here at Goggin Ice Center on Hockey Alumni Weekend. We saw prior to the game, Sean Corrali and his family dropped the puck in remembrance of Rick Corrali, a staple of this Miami hockey program, the all-time leader in goals for the RedHawks. Passed away this year, and Miami also been sporting the number 9 on their helmets as a tribute to the late Rick Corrali, and a really beautiful tribute that happened before this game. But Miami hoping to get a win here as well as Mateo Giampa enters the zone, makes a spin move, but is locked up there by Sam Scholand. And now it's Morozov bodying his man. Morozov makes a move around one, but loses the puck on a stick handling move against Bookman. And now Smith gathers the loose puck and plays it up near point for Quinn. Quinn fires, it's deflected by Smith, who tests to make sure his stick's not broken, and kind of an accidental deflection there as Quinn just shot it. Really trying to shoot it off the end boards, but ended up right in the body of Smith, as now Quinn will just play it up for Morrison. He'll tap it in, and Slukinski will play it all the way around the boards to Hendricks near side. Hendricks plays it low for Michaels, the captain of this Broncos team. He loses the puck on a good play there by Aucoin, and now is pasted by Morrison and thrown to the ice as Hendricks plays it forward for Whitelaw. Whitelaw makes a nice stick handling move, the team leader in goals for these Broncos. Tries to get a shot off, but a good play there by Bradley Walker to stifle the scoring attempt. Now it's Braden Morrison once more. Morrison held for a moment there by Volk, and now Michaels is hit hard there by Walker, who gets up in his face. And now it's McEwen across ice as he takes a little bit of a hit from Whitelaw. Now Deputy hit hard there. Makes a nice move around the man, though, and now it's McEwen. McEwen makes a move around Wahlberg, plays it middle there, intercepted by Slukinski just for a moment. Now Delic. Delic up to Helgeson, fires that one right into the chest of Slukinski. And we're gonna get a little bit of pushing and shoving in front of the crease here with 3:07 remaining in the second period.
McEwen continuing to make plays, though. I mean, this weekend has been such a huge weekend for McEwen, and just continues to play at a high level.
We talked about it already tonight. McEwen really stepped up his game. Last night, saw the injuries of Ethan Hay, a forward, and Vladislav Lukashevich, who Anthony Noreen said plays about 25 to 30 minutes for these RedHawks every single night. Lots of workload being diverted into these other defensemen, and McEwen, who has been solid all year, really stepped up with his best game of the season last night, and is again continuing really strong play. Here as he fires one just wide to the glove side of Slukinski. Now Delic plays it low for Helgeson. Puck is chipped out by Cowan, or to Cowan, I should say. Play in front, save on Spicer by Droback. Spicer was all alone in front, has the second goal for Western Michigan. And a big save by the Miami goaltender to keep this game in reach for the RedHawks.
Yeah, it's no shock, Mateo Droback continuing to make huge saves. That's just what he does. That's who he is, as he pounces on that puck after it hits off of his left thigh pad area. And he's been stellar all season, stellar last night, and once again making another great save.
Puck is down on the defensive zone draw, and Kyle Aucoin takes a big hit before dumping the puck out, and a play in front to Giampa by Smith, and ends up not hitting the stick of anybody, and now it's Aucoin once more in the neutral zone. Aucoin plays it over for Morozov, but it's going to be icing as it didn't touch any Miami stick. And Morozov giving a little bit of a stare down to Hakkarainen, who once again makes his presence known against the youngest player in college hockey.
We talk about Morozov being the youngest player in college hockey, but he does not play like it. If you were just to watch him skate around and play on the ice, you would not think he is 17 years old and the youngest player in NCAA hockey.
Not at all. I think not even just with the way he plays, very mature game,
Yeah.
very mature two-way game, but just his frame. You just would never guess that he's 17 years old. As Giampa carries it across ice, and now Morozov has it. Morozov tries to make a backhand play to the front where Giampa was standing wide open, but Morozov was knocked off balance, and he has it in the puck. He has the puck in the near corner. Now plays it low to Ryan Smith, the Quinnipiac transfer. Doug Grimes comes in, lays a big hit against Slukinski, who's been getting beat up all night, but have to give him credit. He's been standing in there every single time Grimes has come after him. Now Naring over to Slukinski, fires. That one's a big block by Morrison. Slukinski again, glove down by Drobak. Slukinski has not gone away. Both, you could say for both brothers, Grant and Hampton have both been fantastic for the Broncos tonight. Grant especially has just been taking every single hit from Grimes and Walker and all of these guys who are bowling balls, and just huge players that are very physical, and he's gotten right back up and really made his presence felt here.
Not backing down at all.
No.
He's probably feeding off of his brother down there in the net because he's been phenomenal.
Absolutely. So I'd be doing the same thing. I don't blame him at all. Western Michigan wins the faceoff, tries to play it around as Grimes will play it up for Walker, but that's intercepted by Michaels. And now Volk will just dump it in before taking a hit, I should say, by Blake Messenberg. Hendricks near corner, pinned to the wall against Donato. And now Donato and Hendricks continue their battle before Thompson takes a hit and just pokes it around for Walker. Walker near half wall, flips it up for Grimes, who's unable to control it, and ends up on the stick of Theo Wahlberg. 1 minute to go here in the second period. Western Michigan up 2-0, shot 16-14 in favor of the RedHawks, and we get a whistle.
Bradley Walker was in a little bit of a scrum right in front of Western Michigan's bench, and he lost one of his gloves, lost his stick.
Looks like he's going to get a penalty.
Yeah. He's going to go to the box with half his gear.
So Bradley Walker gets a roughing penalty after engaging in a little bit of a scrum in front of the Western Michigan bench. Looked like he laid an initial hit on William Whitelaw and lost a glove, like you said, in the process. He's confused as to why there isn't a matching penalty. And with 53 seconds on the clock, not a good penalty to take if you're Miami. You're already still trying to come back multiple goals here.
Exactly what you can't take in this situation here. I mean, now Western Michigan have an advantage with 53 seconds left, and then the first minute of the third period as well.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a soft roughing penalty, but you can see why it was called, as Walker got right back up and got right in the face of Whitelaw. And regardless, doesn't really matter if you're Miami. Got to kill this one off. Otherwise, you're going to be in a deep hole heading into the third period. As now it's Scholand who loses the puck to Morozov, and now it's Morozov and Deputy 2-on-1. Here comes Morozov, finds Deputy in front, scores! The two freshmen link up, and it's Deputy's third goal of the weekend to cut this deficit to 1. A shorty for Deputy.
And I had a feeling, Jeff, when I saw these two break away, that this was going to end up in the back of the net. It's Deputy and Morozov. They've been stellar all season. Two of the best freshmen in the NCHC, and they show exactly why right there in that moment.
Woo! David Deputy, his third goal of the weekend, his 14th on the season, a team-leading 14th, and Morozov's 9th assist and his second assist of the weekend. A shorthanded goal for Miami to cut this lead to 1, as the power play still continues for Western Michigan. 15 seconds left in the period. It's Sean McEwen in the far corner. Will just dump it down for the RedHawks. So after a penalty by Walker, the period will end with Miami only down 1, as the RedHawks stand strong, and the two freshmen, the two phenoms, find their way onto the score sheet once more against Western Michigan.
You're not going to find a better player in a breakaway moment than David Deputy, and there's not many guys that can handle the puck like Ilya Morozov. Makes a great move, dishes it to David Deputy, and David, the lawman Deputy, finishes it in the back of the net.
Don't break the law, because the Deputies in town in Oxford, Ohio. Score 2-1 as we enter the second intermission. Gavin, not exactly the period you want if you're Miami. Saw Western Michigan kind of take control at times, but you come out of that period, once again, like we were talking about last night, you come out of that period with a better result than you probably deserved.
Yeah,
but the resilience has been there the entire time through, how 100 minutes of play this weekend.
And you look at it in frames each period, and at the 11-minute mark we spoke and we said, we thought this was going to be a vital next 11 minutes, and then we looked at it in the fourth minute or so, and Western Michigan had the 2-goal lead, and now Miami was able to strike away in those final 4 minutes and inch a little bit back into that deficit. Now only down 1 as you head into the final intermission. You're heading into the third period down 1 with something to look at and something to feed off of as you look to make another upset here inside of Oxford, Ohio.
So we head to the second intermission and the third period, the final 20 minutes of this weekend's matchup against the number 4 Western Michigan Broncos, down 1 goal fewer than they entered. Miami looking, like you said, Gavin, for a sweep or even a comeback point against the number 4 team in the country. Jeff Middleton alongside Gavin Stark. Will Salzarulo will have your intermission report as we enter the final 20 minutes here in Oxford. You're listening to Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio.
You're listening to Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio. I'm your host, Will Salzburlo, and this is your second intermission report for tonight's matchup with the Western Michigan Broncos versus the Miami RedHawks. Goals in the first. Western Michigan got a goal halfway through the second. That was by WMU's Cole Spicer, assisted by Bobby Cohen. And then in the last 30 seconds of the second period, Miami's very own David the Lawman Deputy scored a shorthanded goal assisted by Ilya Morozov. There were 3 penalties in the second, 2 for Miami, 1 for Western Michigan. Western Michigan's Ty Henricks got a 2-minute minor for slashing. Doug Grimes also a 2-minute minor for slashing. And Miami's Bradley Walker gets a 2-minute minor for roughing. A minute and 7 seconds will transfer into the third period. Shots on net here throughout the game. Miami is actually out shooting Western Michigan 17-14. Miami is still trailing behind by 1 goal, but I feel like they have a chance to equalize it here in the third. Could this game go back into overtime? I wouldn't be surprised if it does. Some other matchups in the NCHC. St. Cloud's at Colorado State. Number 3, North Dakota's at number 10, Minnesota Duluth. There is no goal there. Colorado College is at number 8, Denver. Game hasn't started yet, so no scores to call out. Some keys for Miami success here in the third period. They got to protect Droback. He's been under siege throughout most of this game, taking save after save after save. In my opinion, doing a phenomenal job doing so. A lot of goalie interference here, especially last night. And Miami needs to equalize it. We need to get a goal, and we need to get out of our own zone. I feel like Western Michigan has been upping the ante, putting a lot of pressure on Miami's defense and Mateo Droback, adding a lot of pressure to them to get the puck out of their own zone, but they just can't. And that's why Western Michigan is ahead 2-1 at the end of the second. When we come back, you'll hear from Jeff Middleton and Gavin Stark about the coverage of the third period. Miami is down 1-2. Western Michigan is ahead. You're listening to Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio. I'm Will Salzburlo. Stay tuned for period number 3.
Back in Oxford, Ohio, Steve, Coach Cady Arena for the final 20 minutes of this battle between the number 4 Western Michigan Broncos and the Miami RedHawks. Score 2-1 in favor of the Broncos. Shots 19-14 in favor of the RedHawks. Gavin, a heck of a second period for both teams. Both had their chances. Miami coming off a period in which they had a 5-minute power play. Did not score on that. David Deputy had a penalty shot, but Hampton Slikinski did more than enough to make sure that that didn't go in the back of the net, but wasn't good enough on a 2-on-1 break for Ilya Morozov and Deputy, who deposited his 14th goal of the season. What do they need to do here to tie this game up and hopefully come away with a win?
I mean, yeah, it's more of just taking advantage of these shots that they're being given. I mean, 19 shots now, and the only time that they've scored was when they're at a disadvantage.
Comes Deputy once more, fires that one, right pad save by Slikinski. Miami moving right to left in this third period. Western Michigan moving left to right as it's Bookman across the center M. Now moves near side for Cowan. Cowan knocks that one out of the air, and Deputy's just going to send that one all the way down. A reminder that Miami is still on the penalty kill. That goal from Deputy, assisted by Morozov. It was a shorthanded goal, their second of the weekend. Yesterday, Deputy's tying goal was a shorty as well, just coming out of the 4-on-4. And by just coming out of the 4-on-4, I mean literally right as Deputy scored that goal, that penalty was over. So counted as a shorthanded goal nonetheless. Here comes Theo Wahlberg. Wahlberg hit hard there by Sean McEwen before the puck is rimmed around, and Coach Adelic sends it all the way down, and we're back to even strength as Bradley Walker comes out of the box.
If there's one thing that you're going to, look to note in this third period, it's that Miami's just not going to get quit. They are going to give it their all in this final period. They are wanting this more than anything, and you're going to see exactly why. But Western Michigan looking to split this weekend.
Like you said, Miami's resilience has been their best attribute of the season. Fired there by Valente. Rebound up in the air. Naring unable to get a stick on that, and a clearing attempt by Miami ends up working out as Zach Sharp was over the blue line in the neutral zone and then kind of threw it to himself back in the offensive zone, so it's called offside. But Gavin talked about their resilience yesterday, only down a goal most of the time, and tonight down 2 goals, which makes it a little bit harder against a team that's as defensively sound as Western Michigan is. But regardless, this Miami team is not going to quit.
Yeah, and we talked about it yesterday. The recipe to, an upset victory is you got to, make Western Michigan feel that maybe they could lose the game, and ultimately that's what Miami needs to do in this period. They need to, kind of put Western Michigan back to their walls and, make them think a little bit.
And once again, the second goal from Droback that he allowed as Ryan Smith moves in the offensive zone for Miami. A cross-ice feed to Giampa. Giampa plays it back up to the point for Phelan. That one's fired but blocked, and here comes Cowan for Western Michigan. He's tripped up. Western Michigan's going to get a power play here. There's a pretty blatant trip by Michael Phelan. On a break there, probably not the worst penalty to take if you're Miami, but once again, back in the box, and that's not what you want if you're the RedHawks.
Yeah, you're more not mad at the penalty, you're more mad at the situation that forced the penalty to happen. I mean, it was a breakaway opportunity. Phelan kind of got stuck behind and was left to either throw Droback in a tough situation or take the penalty there. He takes the penalty.
So it was Bobby Cowan who drew the penalty for Western Michigan, and he has the puck here now, plays it up for Bookman center point. Bookman back to Cowan near side. Cowan fires, that one's blocked away by Droback, and now Morozov gets to it first and will just chip it out. As the play goes offside, Western Michigan will have to regroup. Now it's Thompson. Thompson just fires that one all the way down. Off the back of the net of Slikinski as it hits off the end wall, and now Bookman has it for Western Michigan again. Now it's Michaels, banked off the wall there. Over to Whitelaw, far side. Whitelaw gives it over to Hakkarainen, and then Hakkarainen gives it right back to Whitelaw before being pressured there by Aucoin, and then a quick clear there by Helgeson makes it for routine there on the penalty kill. Michaels enters the zone near side. Cowan. Cowan backhands that one to Bookman, and now Western Michigan will set up. Bookman. Whitelaw fires, rebound in front, big left pad save by Droback, and Walker will chip it out for the RedHawks. A huge save by Droback on the one-timer there by Whitelaw, the leading goal scorer for this Broncos team.
And you see Droback after the goal, or after the deflection, kind of shake his head like, yeah, let's do it. He fired him up a little bit, gave him a little boost of confidence in this third period here. And it also shows the team, they're going to fight.
We've seen Droback showcase plenty of emotion this weekend. Yesterday, obviously, if you're just joining us, Droback threw a little bit of a punch against Hakarainen and was run into a couple of times. The shot by Scholand is swallowed up there by Droback once more. And to continue on that, Hakarainen ended up on top of Droback, and Droback not pleased with it after being run into a couple times beforehand, and throws a little bit of a shot. And then tonight, kind of got in the face of, I remember exactly who it was that was ended up in the RedHawks net, but regardless, and then he's, like you said, Gavin, kind of showcasing a little bit of hype, a little bit of emotion for himself to pump himself up here and pump his team up.
Just some swagger to his game.
Now here comes Deputy, shorthanded break. He's got Sean McEwen 2-on-1 here. Deputy far side, tries to play it across. Really great play there by Sam Scholand, who sprawled out and had to stick down on the ice and made a great deflection on the cross-ice pass from Deputy. Would have been a kind of callback to last night's game where Deputy was found on the backside of the net by Sean McEwen. Deputy trying to find McEwen tonight on the 2-on-1 break, but nothing doing there thanks to a great defensive play. Now it's Garrett Sidlowski, had a goal last night for the Broncos, dumps it in, and now Donato will just backhand it around, and Smith finds it in the near corner of the Miami defensive zone and will backhand sauce it out to Michael Phelan, who uses his legs and will dump it down deep. Mateo Giampa gives chase. Now Smith once again is pressured there hard by McKenzie, and now it's Beatty who moves it out for the Broncos and turns it over after a hit by Messenberg, and Miami will dump it in once more off the Zamboni doors, but thankfully for the Broncos, it's Colby Volk who's there to intercept, and now it's Miami once more. Grimes tried to find a man on the backside. It was Messenberg, but a good stick play there by Volk once again, and that keeps from any high danger opportunity happening there for Miami's fourth line. Casper Nossen gives chase, 14:54 remaining in the third. Far side pass for Messenberg. He'll give it, or attempt to give it, right back to Casper Nossen, who wipes out in the neutral zone, and a good interception there by Hakarainen, who steps into Phelan and gives him a little bit of an elbow. Phelan watches the puck come back toward him, and now it's Cowan near side against Aucoin, who makes a nice stick play and will just bat it out of midair and send it to the red line before it's dumped in deep again for Phelan. Phelan off the wall in front of the boards, and in front of the benches, I should say, but that goes for icing as no Miami player was able to get a stick on it.
And you asked earlier, what's some keys to this period. I think one thing that Miami needs to do is, find some breakaway opportunities, especially when David Deputy is out there. He's one of the most dangerous guys in a breakaway, situation. And if they can find, a loose puck like that and turn it the other way, could really, really turn into something big for the RedHawks. You've seen it a few times, especially this weekend.
So a defensive zone draw for the RedHawks, won by the Broncos. Sharp fires that one, blocked by the ankle of Casper Nossen and goes out of play. Something we haven't really touched on this weekend, but has been certainly present for the RedHawks, is their shot blocking capabilities and just their willingness to put their bodies on the line in order to help their goaltender Mateo Droback have a little bit of an easier job.
Yeah, I think of that Omaha series, the welcome back series for the second half of the season, so many blocked shots during that weekend as well, where they ultimately swept. That was a huge part of why they swept Omaha too.
Puck is backhanded out. Not far enough for icing though, as it's Alex Kalbeck who will be on the receiving end of that, and he'll just dump it in as Ryder Thompson's there to meet it. Grimes for Miami will just chip it off the wall and send it out to the neutral zone before Kalbeck sends it back in. Now Thompson fakes the stretch pass as Western Michigan's offside, so it gives Miami a little bit of a chance to regroup, and Thompson throws it up the wall, but Nossen's tip goes out of play, and there it'll be a neutral zone drop. There will be a draw, 13:44 remaining in the third period. A draw on the center M. Helgeson and Slakinski. Helgeson wins that one as it's Deputy who's using his legs once again to try and create some offense here for the RedHawks.
Deputy just chugging down the ice. I mean, he is showcasing some fresh legs, and the speed that he displays is always apparent.
I mean, we knew the kind of legs he had as Helgeson fires that one right into the glove of Slakinski. We knew the kind of legs that Deputy has and the kind of offense that he can create, but man, it just seems like every series he's getting better and getting more. I mean, just the pace that he's playing at seems to keep getting faster and faster, which every series you think, oh, he can't get faster than this, and then all of a sudden he's moving through 2 or 3 guys every single rush.
We could figure out so many words to describe him, but I think the easiest one is just impressive. That's just what he's been all season, just impressive.
And a reminder that Deputy was hurt. He got hurt the first game of the season for Miami here at Goggin against Ferris State. He took a big hit in front of the Ferris State bench and was out of the game for the rest of the game, and then was out for a few weeks, week to week, with a upper body injury was how it was classified. But you know, it took him a couple weeks to kind of get a little bit acclimated to the speed, considering he had only had like a period of gameplay. And you know, watching him now, you would have never thought that he was injured at all. You would, you would have thought that he'd been playing this entire season. But the fact that he's got, 14 goals and this is his 23rd game, 19 points now, just a really impressive rookie campaign so far for Deputy, and it's not close to over either. Plenty of game left and plenty of series left, including some big series like next weekend against North Dakota, and then the following weekend here, the last home series of the year against Minnesota Duluth. As Miami sends that one all the way down for an icing with 12:52 remaining in this third period. So a defensive zone draw for the RedHawks. It'll be the fourth line for head coach Pat Ferschweiler and the Broncos: Sidlowski, McKenzie, and Beatty against Morozov, Smith, and Giampa. As Miami did win that one back and cleared it out to the neutral zone, but Western Michigan gets it first and is going to go on the attack here. Turn the puck over, and now McEwen will just send it all the way out to the neutral zone once more, but McKenzie's there for the Broncos. Now Beatty, but the Broncos come on offside. Bradley Walker giving a little bit of the business to Beatty as we hit our first media timeout of the third period. So we've got 12:32 remaining in the final frame. Scores 2-1. Shots 20-18 in favor of the RedHawks. We will be right back with you after this media timeout. You're listening to Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio. Back here at Steve Coach Cady Arena for the final 12:32 of this third period between the number 4 Western Michigan Broncos and the Miami RedHawks. My name's Jeff Middleton alongside Gavin Stark. And an exciting weekend so far. Fans are done jumping around here, and
Kid had his shirt off.
I'll say there's some plenty of I mean, both nights, excellent crowds here at Gauguin Ice Center. Want to give a shout out to the student body. Is just a fantastic couple of days here for this Miami hockey team as Aucoin sends that one high and well wide of the Western Michigan net. But no, two really, really excellent crowds for this Miami hockey team. Obviously, you see the kind of success that Miami men's basketball is having, and them selling out Millette, and for the foreseeable future, as considering their records 24-0 after their win against Marshall today, and to see all of these people, not just students, but Miami hockey fans coming out to support this Miami hockey team that is having the best season in a decade. It's just excellent to see after a long wait for Miami hockey fans.
This school and university just loves hockey. They love their hockey team, and they are proud.
They are certainly proud indeed, and a little bit of an awkward play as the puck did hit the netting, but no call was made. So we play on.
It's one of those things, like, how do you miss that?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure, as everybody stopped. It wasn't just Miami or Western Michigan. It was both teams that stopped playing, and the puck is going to be sent all the way down for icing. I would imagine Miami's not super happy with that, considering that would have been an offensive zone draw for them, and now they have a defensive zone draw after the icing, and Zach Sharp is even telling the linesman Eric Frank that it went out of play. So both teams in favor of calling that play dead. Obviously can't do anything about it now, but
those are things you can't miss, though. Late down the stretch with a one-goal game with 11 minutes left, I mean,
sure,
everything matters.
Absolutely. If it was Western Michigan on the side of Miami, they'd be saying the same thing, and Miami would be saying the same thing if it's them, as Hakkarainen carries into the zone. Big block there by Michael Quinn, down on one leg. Zach Sharp has it near side point for Western Michigan. David Deputy, after the rim around, has his stick break. And he's going to go to the bench and just change for Mateo Giampa following the equipment mishap. Now near side half ball at Zach Sharp. Pitchforks it down low. Now back up is Cowan. Cowan plays it low for Sharp again. Sharp turns, fires that one well wide into the far corner. As now it's Kalbick. Kalbick loses it to Quinn, and now Quinn will just play it up for McEwen, and Delic tries a stretch pass up to Giampa, but it hits a man, and Giampa will go 1-on-3 and lose the puck to the Broncos. Really nothing you can do there if you're Giampa, as that's some good back checking by the Broncos. Now Giampa once more, unable to touch it as he's offside. Went in just a hair early, and the Broncos will regroup as it's Scholand who carries over the red line and shoots it in. Now it's Morozov, backhands it, and the play is made out front. Bookman gives a cross for Valente, who fires, screened in front is Droback, but it was sent wide, and now it's Scholand below the goal line. Scholand gives up for Slukinski, a big one-timer there, and a good glove save, but a turnover by Miami. Play out in front for Naring. That one's sent away by Miami, and now a Miami man's down hurt as Mateo Droback swallows it up. It's Nick Donato who's down. Not exactly sure what happened. We'll have to see what happened on the replay. But it was essentially a 5-on-4 for a moment as Donato, and we've seen 2 injuries already this weekend for Miami. One on defense for Vladislav Lukashevich, who, once again, Miami's head coach Anthony Noreen said plays 25 to 30 minutes for them every night. Pretty much half the game will have to be doled out to other defensemen, and good news for Miami, it looks like Donato's staying on the bench.
Yeah, and there's a lot of pros we can talk about this weekend, not many cons, but one of those cons you could talk about is injuries. I mean, like you said, losing Ipane, losing Lukashevich, and now Nick Donato goes down for moments, but looks like he'll be ultimately okay. But the injuries starting to stack up after last night.
Looked like Donato went to play a puck and collided with Grant Slukinski accidentally. Oh, and a big bounce there in front of the net off the stanchion, and kind of a weird play. Is fortunately nothing there for Miami, as now they go chase in the offensive zone, but a really, really bad bounce for them if there was a man there for Western Michigan, as Droback went behind the net to play it, so the net was gaping. As now it's Aucoin who will fire and dump it in, and Bradley Walker meets it on the far side. Walker backhands it to McEwen. McEwen fires. That one's blocked in front by Bookman. Just got right in front of that shot and plays it up for Whitelaw. Whitelaw goes one-on-one against Quinn. Quinn will backhand it up for McEwen, and McEwen will play it forward for Doug Grimes. Grimes carries it across the blue line, but has the puck poked off his stick by Wolk, and now it's Whitelaw who plays it off the wall for Hendricks. Whitelaw had a shot there after Hendricks played it back to him, and there's going to be a late tripping call on Western Michigan. Referee in the corner, that was Mike Sheehan, didn't initially call it, but it took a little bit of a crowd reaction to make him put the arm up, and Ty Hendricks goes back to the box.
And you got to credit the effort there from McEwen. I mean, all over the puck and ends up drawing the penalty there off the tripping from Hendricks. I mean, once again, McEwen making some plays on the ice.
Also, it is worth mentioning, just looking at this score sheet, that Zachariah Wisdom did get a game misconduct alongside his 5-minute major for interference, or for slew footing, I should say. Was not aware of that until just now, as obviously he's not playing. He'd usually be a much bigger part of the special teams for Western Michigan, but did not hear that call initially. So Zachariah Wisdom is out of this game, and he's been out of this game since the first period. About 5 minutes left, and looks like Doug Grimes, who was hurt on the near side in the defensive zone, is back to his feet, gets some applause from the crowd. And Miami will go to a 2-minute power play, looking to tie this game at 2.
Here we go, huge opportunity, 9 minutes and 4 seconds left in the third, down 1. You get a huge chance here with the power play. What can you do with it?
Miami 0 for 4 tonight. A 5-minute major, nothing going there as they win the faceoff. Quinton fires that one right into the chest. Gobbled up there by Slukinski. Another routine save for Western Michigan's goaltender, but a good shot nonetheless. Something we didn't see a lot last night was shots on net for Miami, so an improvement there as they are leading the shots battle 22-20.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge improvement from last night after you got doubled by Western Michigan.
Another big face-off win there by Morozov. Now Quinn near side moves center. Quinn over to Morozov. Back to Quinn. Now Morozov far side. Morozov down low. Pass is picked off there by Wahlberg. A good stick defensively there by the Ottawa Senators draft pick. And now the puck is loose. And now back up to the point for Quinn. Quinn to Morozov far side. Quinn looking for a one-timer. Holds. Back to Morozov. Fires one-timer. That one's deflected in front and goes wide. Good save there from Slukinski. Now Delic on the goal line will spin and backhand pass that to Quinn. Quinn holds for a moment, goes cross ice to Nassen, who's unable to corral it. And we'll just play it middle for Morozov, who can't keep it off his skate. Whitelaw unable to move the puck out. Now Morozov again gives over for Delic. Delic far side, holds middle, fires that one right off the pad of Deputy, who's standing in front screening the goaltender Slukinski. Morozov far corner, a weak play, but that one is called offside, and Quinn is not happy with that, neither is Delic. From up here, hard to tell, but nonetheless, Eric Frank makes the call that that's offside with 57 seconds remaining in the Miami power play.
I'm thinking back to that puck that slid underneath Casper Nassen's stick. A good feed to him. Now you've got a face-off in the neutral zone.
Face-off won by Miami. Second unit out for the RedHawks. It's Ryder Thompson, Mateo Giampa, Ryan Smith, Max Helgeson, and Doug Grimes. It's Grimes on the far side who rims it around for Helgeson. Grimes, the Boston University transfer. Helgeson, the Alaska Anchorage transfer, gives for Thompson near point. Now Helgeson cross ice. Giampa holds, drags, fires. That one's off the right pad of Slukinski. Puck still loose, sitting in the crease, but the Miami's not able to get there in time. Now Thompson near point. Over to Giampa. Giampa holds, fires. That one's gloved easily by Slukinski.
A loose puck right in front of the net. Usually you hit the panic button, but when you got Slukinski in the net, it's a little less of a worrisome because he is phenomenal. He just stays calm in all these moments. And
there's been a couple shots tonight that have been like sitting right in front of the crease, and somehow, some way, Hampton Slakinski, obviously incredibly talented, so much awareness, has just been able to pounce on him. Morozov wins the faceoff back. It's Quinn. Quinn fires that one again, gloved right by Slakinski. Man, he's making that look easy. So another offensive zone draw. Miami's faceoffs, especially Ilya Morozov tonight, been very, very good and very important on power plays like this late in the game where you need offensive zone time.
And you lose a guy like Ethan Hay who's so good at the faceoff.
Absolutely.
And now Ilya Morozov stepping up and doing a great job.
Morozov tied up on the faceoff. That one's sent to the blue line, but not out. Michael Quinn keeps it in for a moment before it's sent out by Theo Wahlberg. Western Michigan defenseman. 8 seconds left on this Miami power play as the RedHawks will go 0 for 5 tonight as of now. As Kyle Aucoin bursts into the zone, plays it out in front for Messenberg, who's tied up but tries to get a shot on. Nasson plays it out in front, but nobody's there to pot it home. Now Deputy up to Aucoin. That one's loose in front, and Hampton Slakinski pounces on it again.
It's routine at this point. A puck gets loose in front of the goal, and Hampton Slakinski just pounces right on it.
It's like a spidey sense. It just seems like he knows where it is at all times.
Something. He's a cheat code.
So with 6:51 remaining in this third period, Miami looks to tie it up. We will come back to you after this media timeout. You're listening to Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio. Final 6:51 coming to you here from Oxford, Ohio. Jeff Middleton, Gavin Stark, really glad you could join us for this weekend of Miami Hockey. An exciting game last night, and we've got another exciting one here for you tonight. 2-1's our score in favor of the number 4 Broncos, but Miami pushing after a power play that they weren't able to convert on, and see what they can do here, trying to tie this game up. But Western Michigan not going to go away anytime soon as it's Ty Henricks moving in to the offensive zone, gives off for William Whitelaw, back to Henricks, tries to play it out in front for Owen Michaels, who's there, but the pass was intercepted. Now Michaels again, gloved down by Droback.
Droback snags it out of the air, and he makes it look easy. Slakinski makes plays look easy, but so does Droback on the other end. The battle of the goaltenders all weekend has been a huge part of this series, and both goaltenders late down the stretch flashing their abilities.
We said it before, the battle of the goaltenders here, and at the very least, haven't been super high scoring games, but there's a reason for that, as both of these goaltenders have made their impact felt, and close games for both these teams as Western Michigan wins the offensive zone draw. Takarainen has his pocket picked for a moment before a good play there by Bookman gives off for Max Helgeson of Miami, and Delic will just dump it in. Doug Grimes gives chase. Good play there from Sam Sholin to protect the puck, and that puck is just flipped all the way down. Bobby Cowan trying to find it for Western Michigan. He does before Michael Quinn picks his pocket, And here comes Delic, tries to make a stretch pass up for Deputy, who loves those stretch passes, we know that. But good defensive play there by Volk, and the play was made easily. Now it's Takarainen. Takarainen flips it in deep, and he'll go for a change. as Bobby Cowan goes in on the forecheck, and now it's Braden Morrison. Morrison gets hammered by Liam Valente. Kind of ran into David Deputy, his line mate, and now Deputy will go for a change after Donato tries to find him in the neutral zone. Kyle Lecoyne pinches in against Valente, puck in his feet, and now Morrison finds it, fires that one wide to the blocker's side. Now Bradley Walker gives chase in the far corner. Casper Nassen battling there with Grant Slakinski. Nassen hammers that one down deep. It's Walker and Nassen 2-on-2 against a couple of Western Michigan players. Slakinski and Wahlberg. Now Wahlberg has it. Wahlberg plays it around for Thompson of Miami, who will play it back around, and Ryan Smith gets there. And another battle ensues with exactly 5 minutes remaining in the third period. Nassen tries to play it up. You can see the play he was trying to make, but just fanned on the pass, and now Naring able to get it out before Miami regroups the other way. Wahlberg will just make a nice little toe drag move and send it in deep. Whitelaw gives chase, gets there first. Thompson bodies him off, though. Now it's Morozov for Smith. Smith tries to make a play to the middle, but Owen Michaels is there defensively for the Broncos and just dumps it in for the visitors. Phelan chipped that one off the glass, and now here comes Morozov, the 17-year-old. Morozov makes a cut to the net. Tries to make it out in front for Giampa, but he lost the puck on his stick, and now Western Michigan comes out the other way. It's Whitelaw one-on-one with McEwen. Whitelaw makes it around him. Chips off the crossbar, I believe, or off the shoulder of Droback. A big save to keep this game a one-goal deficit for Miami. Now Smith. Morozov really making his presence felt tonight. Was a little quiet last night, but been very strong to this point, as now it's Bobby Cowan the other way. Dodges a hit and makes a move around another man. That's Quinn. Loses the puck for a moment, though, as now McEwen holds. McEwen for Morrison. Morrison been out there a long time. We'll probably look for a change after this dump in, but unable to get untangled with Cowan, or Cowan, I should say, and now it's Aucoin the other way. Aucoin using his wheels. Aucoin brings it down the near side. Fires that one just wide to the glove side of Slukinski. Puck stays in the offensive zone, though, and now it's Walker. Walker will just play it down deep with 3:27 remaining. Puck kicks out to a Western Michigan player. That's Naring, and Naring will go 2-on-2 with Slukinski. Now a third man, it's Valente through his legs. Plays it back across for Slukinski, but Slukinski was just a step behind. Now Deputy plays it across, but the first man there is Valente for Western Michigan. Fans on the backhand dump-in attempt. Coin is crunched there before the puck squeaks out to Delic behind him. Delic goes cross ice for Donato. Donato just fires that one off the skate of Helgeson, and now Western Michigan comes the other way. It's Whitelaw. Whitelaw, far side for Henricks. Henricks fires that one, ends up right on the stick of Whitelaw because of a fortunate bounce, and now Phelan will just try and get it out of there as Helgeson and Phelan battle 2-on-2 with Western Michigan players Henricks and Whitelaw. Thompson near side as the puck is rimmed around, and it's sent all the way down. Deputy's going to beat it out, though. No icing. But he has no reinforcements as everybody else goes to get a change. Here comes Zach Sharp. Sharp makes a move around two men. And again, he's the only reinforcement until Cowan and Hakkarainen come in to help him just now. Now it's Messenberg. Messenberg gives up for Walker. Walker up to Nassen, but he's unable to control it in his skates, and now it's back to McEwen. 2 minutes left remaining in this third period. 2-1's our score. Western Michigan looking for a series split as Casper Nassen now has it for Miami. Up to Thompson, across for Phelan. Phelan fires that one, blocked by Hakkarainen. A really good block and a stick play by Western Michigan's Eero Hakkarainen. Cross corner dump in. It's Bookman there for Western Michigan. 1:35 remaining in the third. Wondering if and when Anthony Noreen's going to pull the goaltender, as he's looking for him now. Droback's just out of his crease, and no icing is called as it's Michael Quinn behind the Miami net. Quinn up to Deputy. Deputy, Giampa, and Morozov are the three forwards for Miami. The net is empty, and that one's fired but blocked, and now it's Naring for Western Michigan. He'll just flip that one in. Valente gets there first in the offensive zone. Michael Quinn makes a good play. 6-on-5 here for Miami. 1 minute remaining, and Valente is going to put it in the net and score. So with exactly 1 minute remaining in this third period, Western Michigan pots their empty net goal. Liam Valente scores his 16th of the year and ties William Whitelaw for the goal lead for Western Michigan.
Western Michigan there just able to keep it in their zone and take advantage of the empty net. 6 on 5 didn't matter for Western Michigan there. They're able to find the back of the net and basically put this one up, and looking for Western Michigan to split the series now here inside Coach Cady Arena.
We just had an announcement that Miami is challenging. Could not exactly hear what they were challenging for, but considering the linesmen are on the screen, would have to imagine that it's for offside. So with exactly 1 minute remaining, this is obviously we've had,
Why not?
I say why not, a handful of reviews tonight, and
it would be fitting for this one to go Miami's way too. It really would, with how the series has gone, especially today with all the challenges. Let's see if you can win one late here and give yourself a fighting chance with a minute exactly left here in this one.
so they are challenging for offside. Our booth is right above where the referees and linesmen gather and look at the screen, and I've seen, as I lean over this little banister here, some views of the blue line and some pointing by referee, or linesman I should say, Eric Frank. So it would be obviously another fortunate break for Miami if they were to get this call. It didn't look offside to me initially, and we'll see what the call is. Obviously you can miss it when it's a lot going on at the same time.
Extra skater, you can miss stuff like that pretty easily. Let's see what the call is.
So there is no offside, and Western Michigan's goal is going to count, so they go up 3-1 on Miami with the minute remaining. After the empty netter, again, Liam Valente ties William Whitelaw for the team lead in goals, with 16. Unassisted, the goal will be. And it's going to stand. Shots 29-22 in favor of the RedHawks, so an interesting little back and forth here as the two teams that have tallied the fewer amount of shots have won both games.
Yeah.
Or have won one of the games, I should say.
Right. I mean, it's not very often that you can say that. Back-to-back nights, it's been the story.
And if you're Miami, if there was one thing to look at, it would be the power play. Obviously 0 for 4 tonight, and you have that 5-minute major as Western Michigan gets back on the offensive here. It's Scholand, and there is a penalty for a delay of game on Miami for losing that challenge. So one-timer there by Whitelaw, fired high and wide, and that's going to be sent all the way back with 30 seconds remaining in the third. So the goal will actually not be unassisted. It'll be Valente from Naring and Grant Slakinski. Slakinski adds to his assist lead. As with 10 seconds remaining in this third period, Western Michigan's going to take this game 3-1. As the puck exits the zone. And a series split for Miami. Comes after a 3-1 defeat to the number 4 Western Michigan Broncos. And Gavin, obviously not the results you wanted here on a Saturday night, but you had a feeling that this Saturday was going to be a really tough test after beating the number 4 team in the country in overtime on Friday.
Right, and Friday morning, if you were told that the RedHawks were going to split this weekend, you'd say, I'll take it, and walk away very happy. And that's exactly what happens. They split this series, and they show a lot of fight. We used the word resilience all weekend. They showed so much of it. Battle till the end tonight. Last night showed so much grit down the stretch and ended up pulling it off. And one of the coolest moments in Miami hockey history, really. I mean, that was just brilliant last night. Felt like the roof collapsed inside this building off that David Deputy game-winning goal in overtime. And, you know, it was nice to see another standing crowd only inside of Coach Cady Arena tonight. What a series, though. What a weekend it was. And you really can't hang your head low if you're the RedHawks. So much to build off of on this weekend. You didn't even play your really best hockey either night, and you fought with the number 4 team in the country all weekend from start to finish, and it was entertaining, to say the least.
Absolutely, and like you said, it's hard to really be mad at splitting a series with the number 4 team in the country. So the second to last home series of the season is finished. Miami walks away with a 3-2 overtime victory last night. Western Michigan walks away with a 3-1 regulation win tonight. Miami, be interesting to see if they get ranked after this weekend. Obviously, 2 very close games, but I guess tomorrow we will see. For Jeff Middleton, my name is Jeff Middleton, alongside Gavin Stark, Will Salzarulo, everybody here at Red Hawk Radio. Thank you so much for tuning in to this edition of Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio. The last home series of the year, Gavin. University, Minnesota Duluth here at Miami in 2 weekends. February 20th, Friday, and February 21st, Saturday will be my final time calling hockey games here at Miami alongside Luke Westpoli, who was here with us in the booth but not on the microphone tonight. Really excited to do that. A little bit of a bittersweet moment, but really glad that I got to call this series with you, considering how special it was just for Miami's hockey program in general.
What a series, and what a blessing it is to just sit up here and have the best view inside of Coach Cady Arena. It's just an awesome experience that we both got to have this weekend. So super happy for it.
Absolutely. 2 sellout crowds, a victory for Miami last night and a loss tonight for a series split against Western Michigan. My name is Jeff Middleton alongside Gavin Stark. Will Salzarulo will have your post-game report here on Red Hawk Radio. Thank you so much for tuning in. You're listening to Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio.
You're listening to Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio. The Red Hawks have split the series against number 4 in the entire NCAA, Western Michigan Broncos, and here's what went down. In the third period, there was only one goal. It was an empty netter to bury the lead for Western Michigan. It was by Liam Vente. An unassisted empty netter goal to bury the lead to 3-1. There was only 2 penalties in the third period. Michael Phelan and Ty Hendricks of Miami and Western Michigan respectively, both 2-minute minors for tripping. Shots on net, Miami outshot Western Michigan 29-22, so still a pretty close shots on goal. Here's an overview of the period scores. Ending of the first period, it's 1-0 in favor of Western Michigan. Second, it is 1-2, and then for the third and final score is 3-1 in favor of Miami. Blocked shots, Miami had 12, doubling Western Michigan's 6. Face-offs, Miami won 29 rather, and Western Michigan won 41. Miami's leaving this matchup with a 7-9-2 record. Western Michigan leaving this series 28-0. So that's the records there. I felt like that was a decent game played by Miami. It was a very tough physical game. There was no love lost between these two teams. They just hated each other. There was a lot of animosity. I feel like that translated to a bunch of roughing, tripping, stick checking, a whole 9 yards. But it was a fantastic show by both teams. Very, very close contention until late in the third period when Miami pulled their goalie. Matchups in the NCHC. St. Cloud's at Arizona State. Game hasn't started yet, so no scores there. Number 3, North Dakota's in the state of hockey. Number 10, Minnesota Duluth, 0-0 is the score. Colorado College is at number 8. Denver, the score is also 0-0. And thank you for listening from all of us here at Red Hawk Radio, and for Jeff Middleton and Gavin Stark. Thank you for listening. I've been Will Salzarrillo. This has been Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio. Thank you for listening.